Welcome to the show. You look incredible, like a dessert that owns a yacht.
That's exactly the vibe I was going for. You know, sweet but slightly out of your tax bracket.
Mission accomplished. How does one even shop for a suit when your head is...
Gold on my neck, gold on my hand, purple with the stripes, that's the walk of a man. Sidewalk shining, city lights humming, every step I take, they know a boss is coming. Blazing the whip, gotta vanquish the needs, my kingdom for some poppy seeds, yo.
Is that a poppy seed? You realize I'm your P.O., right? Straight to booking!
Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yeah!
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
You know what? I talk to your mayor.
I'm ADA protected.
When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. A miracle, oh, it was beautiful. When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. A miracle, oh, it was beautiful. When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful.
Chapter 7, nah, more like chapter deceive. Hiding from the lawsuits, a new trick up your sleeve. Paperwork, flimsy truth, taking a dive. Drowning paperwork, then buried alive. Fraudulent follower, playing the game. Dodging the heat while fueling the flame. Thinking you slick, now we see through the scheme. Bankruptcy, fraud, that's stealing the dream. Stacks of life folded, origami finesse. You're bleeding broke, but your dollar screams success. Got the 56K, the attention, the barn go sweet. But in court you crying, I can't make ends meet. Heavy face abuse, gavel about to drop. Your lies are crumbling, your case is a flop. Fake tears streaming, crocodile flow. But the fraud you pulling, everybody knows. Fraudulent follower, playing the game. Dodging the heat while fueling the flame. Thinking you slick, nah, we see through the scheme. Bankruptcy, fraud, that's stealing the dream. Money trail messy, footprints in the sand. Everybody watching, receipts in their hands. Lawyers on your neck, think you know what a scheme. But your team discussed it all on their live stream.
Now you're posting balloons about selling your jewelry? Your jewelry in day cream. Are you kidding me? 3 cellular providers now produced in Discovery. Are any of those brain cells on?
You lied to the court and left your donors misled. Saying 6K was for fighting when you had already fled. Winning the case, this is only delays. A courtroom race and you running relays.
Stop selling jewelry. Stop taking out loans. Seriously, stop.
What's up, folks? How's it going today? Man, oh man, oh man. This is going to be a good one. By the way, you'll notice that we have the new tower set up. Sounding so crisp and so lovely. Oh, you got to admit, oh, what a sound, right? What a lovely sound. Tug 2 times a day. Yeah, well, that one was a sound test. So I guess you could call it 2 times today. Although, interestingly enough, we did have a sound test this morning to make sure everything rolled smoothly today. But yes, of course. What a day, though. Man, we found out about, well, I won't say all the moles, but we definitely found out about another mole. I know, indeed. It's got that new stream smell. It's got that new stream cost, too. Very painful. Very painful. I didn't want to go with like a dud of a brand new thing, though. So I tried to go with something, and it should run better. I noticed one thing about the old beast, by the way. The old beast was well, let's just say it was switching between, it looks like Wi-Fi. It wasn't just using Ethernet. So that explains some of the lagging, even though it wasn't recording that it was doing it. It was bouncing out. So my Lord. Yes, it is indeed mole season, as is noted by folks. Holy moly indeed. Yes, it is. It's holy moly time indeed. Now, the amazing thing about the whole mole thing, how long did it take to set up? Well, considering all the programs and then dumping in, I had to dump in about 225 gigs of information for this case. That's about what I keep on hand, which is crazy when you think about it. Videos and other stuff. 225 gigs. That doesn't count all the stuff, though, I keep in the drop boxes or anything else, which is who knows how many more gigs. But that's a lot. That's an absolute, just an ocean of items. So it took a hot minute to get everything coordinated and set up. Now, I did get it. I started early, like right after last night's stream. I had so many problems with the computer, with the tech. I was like, nah, because the plan was to switch it over the next time I was the main person. And yet, let's see, check my email for I did see the request thing. I did write that back, by the way. Just a note on that one, D. I did note that one. So check this out. All right, y'all want to see something really amazing? It's actually there's actually a few things that are in here that are kind of amazing, to be honest. But I'm sure you all want to know about moles, right? Now, the mole thing ends up popping up in stages. And really, well, again, one of the moles or information sources, however you want to put them there, you've got to, you gotta ultimately credit the person that ends up dumping all of that information out there. They confirm everything. So check this out. In the last, what Fleesa said, there's no moles. Yeah, she's that's right. She said there is no mole, but you know what? Actually, the last live stream that she had, she did confirm there was a mole. Now, that doesn't mean it's limited to a mole. Remember, Michelle Preston was a mole. She was dumping information on, they want to say, oh, it was all because of Tina. Now, she did talk a lot to Tina, but again, she dumped stuff straight to me. So it's hard to say that wasn't intentional, right? But she admitted in the last live stream that, yeah, they knew who the mole was. You got to remember that too, which is kind of funny. When you get down to it, yep, they know who the mole is indeed. Well, apparently they aren't the only one. But it is funny because they did admit, I guess this stuff, God, I can't believe. Let's see. I was going to pull up that here. See, you can see them over in that live. You know, they didn't go live yesterday. Now, I'm sure they'll have some lame-o excuse for it, but ultimately, I think it's because they've been taking hit after hit. Because Saturday's one of their bread and butters days, you know. So for them not to go live on a day they make money, yeah, you know, convince somebody else that that's not the thing. So check this out, though. To just note this first, and then we'll show something else. So they did say they knew. See, they did admit there was a mole, which, you know, if you've been watching, you've probably seen. But they said they want me to go after the mole so badly. I'm not going to. I know who the mole is. So they admitted there is indeed someone who is sharing information. And, you know, this comes up. All right. This comes up in pieces over the last day. And it was kind of amazing to see, because the first time it pops up on there were some eagle-eyed viewers that actually managed to catch something over on the Hales. Check this out. So if you look at the imagery here and then here, now, again, some eagle-eyed folks, and this ends up being... Now, did you notice there's a computer in screen, right? And some eagle-eyed people were like, well, I wonder what's there. So they started looking, and they noticed something quite amazing, which, again, gets its own commentary and everything else, right? So if you look at that picture, this is quite amazing if you haven't seen this. Okay. All right. So that image is right here. Now I'm going to zoom in on it for you, okay? But I want you to see something here, because, again, this is going to get responded to. But you can see through here, you can actually not only see it, but it's clear enough that you can zoom in and make out certain things. Now, when you get over here, you notice a little bit of something right there. You notice this. Now, this again gets responded to, so by the person, but check that out there. You'll notice you have, of course, legal journal evidence, which Hales has said that he keeps everything nice, organized. He keeps, all of the dates there, all of the, not just the information, but what happened. He writes it out. It probably takes quite a bit of time to do that, but... Then you notice underneath December, you'll notice Leslie and Federico's text messages and videos. Wow. Wait a what now? Wow. Now, I probably would not have pointed this out myself, except Libs kind of makes a video that when you put this and this together, she's responding to this coming out because people brought it up. And she knows that it's going to come up. She says, we'll bring up her video here because, I mean, this is amazing, you know. JH said lips and chips are working. Yes. So this comes up in a members chat as well. You have the lips and chips thing that comes up as well, which we'll add in there. But the way all this comes together, you notice, like I said, text message and videos. So there's a lot. Now, the ecosystem, of course, would say, oh, that's fake, right? Of course. But the only problem is that Lips, like I said, did a video on this subject. And it's a very kind of a short video, but we're going to look at it right here, which again is shared, of course, with, what is that thing called? Fair use. That's right. So let's check this out. So here, she actually comments. Let me turn the closed captions. Wait. I think I turned that off, and then we'll look at, what it says again. It's a very short statement, but still it's a statement.
Tell you guys something. I know that there's audios that are going to play, and I just speak.
I know there's audios they're going to play.
The truth,
and I just speak the truth. Like
I'm not here. I'm not on it.
I'm not here. I'm not on any side.
I was asked questions and I answered them.
I was asked questions and I answered them. Okay. Now I pulled that as a transcript as well because it's very short. So anybody who wants to, nail that down and photograph it as well, it's pretty easy to nail down. But she's talking about it. I mean, straight up. She is straight up discussing. Yes, let me tell you guys something. I know that there's audio is going to play she says they are going to play is the way it comes up. She's actually through transcript wise, you'll notice there are very minimal mistakes in the transcript versus say slush mouth when they speak, right? But I know they're going to play. I just speak the truth, like it's I'm not here. I'm not on any side. I was asked questions and I answered them. Now, again, this right here, these statements right here are just massive statements when you get down to them, because the clarifying statements on it is that, yes, she was definitely answering questions on it. She's the one who put that out there into the world. She was asked questions about. No wonder. Now you've got to remember too. You had like what makes this amazing to me is because you had 2L first of all allegedly threaten lips back when about you will do this or else, which is quite astounding. There was also, remember all that hoopla about talking to Hales and talking to Randy. Remember all of that, about how all of that was a lie? Remember they put all of that out in the ecosystem? Well, apparently it wasn't a lie. Apparently here you have an admission that, yeah, they've most definitely been talking, and wow, they've been selling stuff up, which, when you think about it, they have reasons to do this. It isn't just the ecosystem. I truly believe that as far as litigation purposes, they probably do not want litigation hitting them. They're hoping that cooperation, it'll help them out. Because let me pull up something here for you. Let me pull up a number. I've got a pull here, and let's just say D, who I'm talking about. Yep, thank you for this here. But there was a credit agreement that noted how much Federico's they owed, as far as monetarily on, let's see, 12/15. Okay. Wow. Interest, their per diem, $31,000. Wow. Let me pull this clip. God, you got to see this. This is nuts, man. I actually need to pull this up on the screen. Just give me a second. I got to clip it, but it's worth it. Okay. Trust me. I've went in and set up, Twitter, weirdly enough, was the most secured site. And out of everything I went in and set back up, Twitter was the most secured site. I came in with a new computer and they wouldn't even let me sign in under something suspicious. And now later they put me through the ringer to get in, and I finally did get in. But they made it quite difficult, which, other sites, they didn't seem to care about safety, which was, I don't know, I thought it was pretty telling. Give me 1 second here, because I'm saving an image so we can go and check it out together. All right, so as far as monetary wise, they owe, ooh, man. I mean, I know they owe big numbers, but every time I see them, they're crazy. Now you'll notice one of the beautiful things is, look how smooth. You can hear everything like clicking over and stuff, and look how smooth that pulls up. Ooh, isn't that lovely? I love it. I love it. You love the sound quality too. I think the sound quality on this is so much better. You know, you don't hear anything in the background. Actually, the thing that drowns out background sound is working. So everything that's supposed to work on here sounds good. I love it. So look at those numbers, though. As far as presently owed here between the Federigos, they had a current principal of $177,863.16. Now, this is again in one of their lawsuits. Interest to 12/15/2025 with the per diem of 46.2931512. That would be $31,672. Now, as far as late charges, not bad, $415, but late fees, $131,732. So their escrow balance is $46,000 that they had in there, meaning that their total payoff for one property, and they have two of these that are problems right now in their cases, the total payoff that they owe, this isn't counting legal fees and all the other crap that they're that their antics would have worked up, because those legal fees, they're going to be, let's say they're going to be quite substantial too, I think. When you add that in, you just think about this. Total payoff for one of the houses that they're looking at losing right now out of two, $388,479.77. So they're looking at, again, $400,000 in debt off of one of the two homes. All of these other cases are in. The case they told us to that would break us in, they owe a substantial amount of money too. I mean, yeah, exactly. Legal fees. Whoa, man, the fees. This is for... this right here is for the mortgage and all the other mess that they've added on. So, I mean, again, you think about the amount of money they'll end up owing by the end of everything with other. They probably owe over $1 million. And of course, Lisa Lee isn't making it any better for them. This is what we tried to tell them. Lips, I hope you hear me. I hope you hear this very clearly. I thought it was a kindness for myself and others to offer you tell us what you know about the ecosystem before we had to sue. I thought that was a kindness, considering we've all been able to look up the documents of exactly where you're at. Your lawsuit was garbage. You definitely, you meet the criteria for a vexatious litigant. You'll never be able to freaking file another lawsuit in Florida again. And on top of it, as Lisa Lee put out in the public, Lisa Lee did this just to make it clear. She noted that you were doing all kinds of stuff to, to try to rehab. And yeah, remember New York got mentioned? So I get the feeling too, you're not teaching anymore. I would say you're not listed on anything. And all the time that you spent online, it really makes me believe that you are not teaching anymore. So I don't think... I think when you put all of that together, again, yeah, I think, and now again, I'm not saying that that's erased anything, by the way. I have not, I'm part of a lawsuit as well, and I have I will repeat, no inkling to settle anything. It would take a mighty fine bombshell for me to settle anything, because again, you didn't reach out to me and try to settle anything. You talked a lot of shit. You put up pictures of me quick before, but we'll see. We'll see what's on those audios, right? But it is amazing when you go through. So them telling you that there were no sources of information. Again, they've been telling the public this forever. And you have Lips confirming herself It's not Jeremy. Like, I love the fact that it comes up this way too, because it's not Jeremy that's bringing it up. So they can't come up and say, "Oh man, he's lying about this subject." Well, she brought it up. He didn't bring it up. She brought it up. So how exactly would he be lying about that? He also brought it up. There was another subject, by the way, that came up too. Additionally, on top of this, there was a members stream where they're talking about certain things, and guess what ended up getting thrown into the fray? You've had more cameras added to the fence. Yeah, those people that have been violating? Well, they decided, I guess, we don't have enough of a view. They don't have enough stuff to try to harass a person with. So guess what? They added 2 more cameras to the fence. Isn't that something? You would think when you're digging in and causing yourself, these are people that are quite stupid. Everything is collapsing around these folks. you have all these problems, and their answer is to, of course, double down on stupid. Let's add more cameras so we can try to accuse people of even worse things. What insanity. Now, they've been reeling from quite a few other things too. Like I said, they were reeling from, so you didn't have a live stream. Again, let's see. Yeah, they're in a big mess. They are. They are indeed. There are a lot of them in a big mess. To be honest, like for myself, with the Lips lawsuit, Lips, I didn't get into it for money. I got into it because you threatened me. You thought you could just go online, you could casually threaten me, and then you could go into the courtroom, file some erroneous BS, whining about things like people called me a Muppet. You lied quite a bit about myself, too. I did not appreciate that. If you're going to quote me, you better quote me correctly, because I definitely keep exhaustive records on it. Then you drop that, but you threaten, and then you reinstate the lawsuit because I'm like, hey, game on, let's do it. So I did not get involved in the lawsuit, period, for money. And, I would say most people didn't, They got into it because you keep threatening folks. So I don't know what information has been turned over. I'm curious to see it. Because that, wow. Again, she's saying that she's not ashamed of any of it. She was asked or there were honest questions answered. Honest questions and not taking sides. I'd say it this way too with Lips, okay? As far as sides are concerned, who is a betrayer? Like, I've never pretended to be anyone with her, ever. I've never put on a fake front. I've never pretended anything like that. But I'm going to say, with the way that certain people talk to her in streams and more, that maybe they did. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they put on front. Maybe they acted like something. It kind of blows my mind when you think about that. Because again, you had everyone. How many people have turned on her in some way? You had Volpe and Paint Chips. They had quite a few not so nice things to say. I'm sure they'll have even less nice things to say now. You had Bruce, of course, did not say very nice things at all. We all caught that live, right? You had Lisa Lee, again, reportedly threatening and more. And not only that, it could not have helped the situation. The way the school mess came up, when it was reported, 2L did not help that situation in any way. There is no way whatsoever, because everything wasn't just blown out of proportion. it was elevated into lawsuit territory. Again, who would that blow back on? Well, just like the stuff that would have happened with Michelle Preston, that right there can't blow back in in any way. No reflection, no good one at all. So you definitely, again, the amazing thing when putting everything together, some of you eagle-eyed people out there, you're just amazing, because you didn't, again, you could see that. Here's the other thing, I guess, that shows up on this too, that picture, right? The other thing that really stands out to me, you don't just see it here, right? But you see it over here. You see it in the quick access. Now, usually when something goes into quick access, your computer, it's one of two things. You can add things to quick access, right? Or you use it quite a bit. Now, I'm going to imagine that as far as the legal journal evidence, that would be something that Jeremy Hales uses quite a bit. December, we're talking about the end of December, so that's got a lot of use, right? And well, the Leslie Ann Ferderingos text messages and videos, I'm going to say that probably had a lot to do too. Man, these people have to be terrified by what's going on. They have to be. They have to be absolutely horrified. I'm not talking about Leslie, because Leslie, the one who went out, but 2L and the gang, they have to, because look at how many people, again, they say these people don't know anything. Are you fucking kidding me? They've been saying that Michelle Preston doesn't know. You think about that. Like, I really got thinking about that last night while I was setting up everything and making notes for myself. And one of the things they repeated, like a mantra, is that none of these sources really know anything. Michelle Preston never knew anything? Are you kidding me? You have got to be kidding me. You know that Michelle Preston was in the know for some stuff. Now, I think that she wasn't in the know for things like ghosting her money, items like that, but she was definitely in the know for some of the things that were planned and plotted. We saw them, like, for example, that stream where Bruce calls Michelle Preston a celebrity, when they're working behind the scenes. You remember that? Where he says that she's a celebrity, but don't embrace it. Here, let's pull that up. Actually, man, this search is so nice, by the way. Oh, that was so nice. The computer actually went to what I was looking for. I had it earmarked. So this, like when you have, remember, these are people that were collecting information. That includes Bruce. That includes people like Marla. That includes Patty Plummer. But that also included Preston. They were collecting and gathering information for 2L. Back in August. Again, remember this conversation in 2024. The whole you're a celebrity but don't want to embrace it, coming from Bruce talking to Michelle Preston. Yeah, that was them collecting information for 2L. Man, how things have changed. So they do definitely know things, even if Michelle Preston wasn't put in the circle of trust necessarily, Bruce was in the circle of trust. And I'm sure Bruce was telling her things, I'm sure they have to tell her so much at least to get her to go on. Now, I think they left her out of a lot and they absolutely played her like a fiddle. But at the same time, I don't think they left her in the dark with everything. Now, there's another fun thing that somebody actually put together, and I found to be real interesting. All of those websites that have been created over the last little bit by these folks. You remember the army of them? Well, we got a status update on most of them, okay? Would you like to see a status update? Like where are they now for some of these sites? just to show like how they've moved along and where some of them have theoretically parked. I think this is kind of a fun one. Let's check this out together. Look at this. So as far as some of the main sites out there, check that out. You had 2Ls, their main site, of course. That's still active. Now, weirdly enough, SaveHG.com. You remember how much, remember that was their main site that they were marketing off of. You know, they put together, they had actually put in everything, including the fact that they were the PR team and everything. Well, they have officially abandoned the child. Every time I say that, I think of, you know, that, have you ever watched the movie There Will Be Blood? I've abandoned my child. I've abandoned my boy. That's what that reminds me of. I'd pull up the sound clip, but I'm lazy. I thank you, Victoria. Great sound. I know the sound. I recorded a piece of the live stream from earlier. I know to check out and see exactly how it sounded, and I was very happy with it. You know, and again, the only thing, it's funny. You know, when you have good sound and you don't sound like an absolute weirdo, people accuse you of, you know, faking your own voice and stuff. Here, check this out. Let me show you something real fast, and we'll go back to that list. All right. So for me, like I said, I have a soundboard, right? But if you look at the soundboard settings, these are just, you know, regular, like where is the sound? And you'll notice there is no filter on me. I don't have the filtering like this stuff. You have to push this to turn it on. The buttons are real simple. You can see it's red, so that's not on. This, that lets me hear myself. So there's nothing on there. And the only real settings that I have on, I've thrown in a background noise reduction setting. And I have set up a noise gate. You know, I've set it. So I mean, really, that all I'm doing is using installed tools. It's nothing else there. Like these, what's really bad is the clowns out there. They could be doing that too. You know, we've told these clowns that sound awful. God, if I have to listen to them and go over transcripts, they should definitely do something about that. They should do it for their listeners, though, for sure. All 12 or 15 or however many of them after the What the Hell's viewers are removed. So the HG ones, though, if you notice, all of them, they got parked out. You know, you had SaveHG.com that the registering of it was set up for September 2024. Well, now it's expired and it's up for sale. SaveHG.net, that was also picked up November 19th. Again, they picked up these things. They thought they would monetize them. Like, you got to think, that was their plan. See, Michelle Preston is an absolute idiot because these people, they bought the name of her child. That's right. They bought her child's name. You think about that. They marketed it as a Christmas thing. They marketed it for 9 months. What's really crazy is when you look at the expiration, you know, I think that tells something. And then when they're like, we're gonna let this expire off in November. See, they thought, oh man, look, right before Christmas 2 years ago, they threw those in there so they could make money. And when they found out that this person, they didn't want to deal with them anymore. They made money as long as they could, but they let that expire, you know. But you'll see .org as well. That ends up expiring and parked. It's a shell thing. It's a shell thing. Wow, that's interesting. I'm sure that was probably having some some fun times there, but again, you'll see how that sets up in it. Now there's some updates that go lower with that actually get interesting. The mill towns, it looks like it may have been handed over. So some of these, just a note here, let me read give me a second. Let me get me a drink, and then I'm gonna read you an update on a few of these, because a couple of these were handed over, it looks like, to new ownership and more, It's just kind of wild. Yeah, 2026, the real year to save. Indeed. I believe that. I absolutely believe that, because all this other stuff, I mean, again, these people made a show out of it to try to say something it mattered, but again, so savehg.com expired is for sale. .net, it's parked after expire. Now you have interestingly polymop.com. So when you get down to here, it changes its registrant contact. Now, when it changes its registrant contact, there's a weird thing that happens with that. And it looks like, Bruce, is that you, buddy? I believe that's you, isn't it? Because the way things happened publicly too, I believe they changed over ownership. Well, they definitely, like I said, they changed it. We saw some stuff happen, but they put it under a different server, and it looks like it may have changed over to, well, potentially Bruce. Again, if he wants to say no, then. Now, we looked up Net. Net is one they did not camouflage very well, and it's straight up under 2L's name. If you do a what is, you can look up, if you're curious about this, what you can do is just do a search and say, how do I find out who owns a website? And when you do that, it'll pop you up to a what is, and the what is searches, it's pretty easy to find. But that one, most of them, they try to hide, they hide them under an obscuring name, and it kind of blanks out everything. But interestingly enough, they forgot to do that for polymop.net. Why does that matter, by the way, you may ask? Well, all the garbage that they were trying to get up to on their websites, all the other bullshit. Remember, they tried to play the whole, that's not me. You don't have any proof that's me. You can't prove that I'm the one who did this, that, or the other. Well, funny enough, this allows you to at least look into it. So you can theoretically get a judge to look into that. And man, oh man, that might not be fun. Now, as far as Milltown, that the net ended up parked after. And as far as .com, it ends up changing server. And it looks like it potentially went over to, well, you can guess who that would belong to. Now, it's a shell thing. It goes parked after expires. And I mean, it's just, it's kind of exciting. Again, somebody did some very good work. And there's a way to look into all of this stuff, even when they're hiding websites. Here's what they don't understand. Even when they were hiding everything, they thought they were being really slick about it. Well, there's a way to identify who something belongs to, and they don't know. They think that, like I said, they were slick about the way that they were trying to hide things surface level. But people are smarter than that. And people, they found it real well. Now let's look at a few other things that are included in this as well. As far as the website registrants, again, there is definitely information that shows who was a registrant on items. But check this out. With some of these websites, when you start rolling down through them, I mean, check this, for example. I thought this was some, again, fascinating information somebody put together. You look up Save HG or It's a Shell thing, a registering contact starts coming back as 2Ls. Oh, wait a minute. So, their connection to people like Lynette Preston just gets stronger, doesn't it? Wow. Fun times, right? And when they were trying to weaponize that kid, and they said, remember how they told you that the Save HG websites, the ones that noted that they were PR, those things, they weren't completed, this and that. Well, it was their website. They were the ones building it. So they had all the control over it. So it kind of doesn't, it kind of flies in the face of that, by the way. The just a note in case somebody forgot about that too. Hey kiddo, I hear you there. What you doing, kiddo?
Watching my TV.
You watching your TV? You having fun?
Talk about how big is my TV?
Yeah, it's pretty big, isn't it? It's so big that we're gonna have to get a new thing to put it on, right?
Yep. And my refrigerator is really close, like a pitch away from touching that thing.
I know, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You like your new TV?
Yeah.
Did you have a good Christmas, by the way?
Yeah.
You did. You got all kinds of candy and everything else too, didn't you? Lip gloss. Man, you got the hookup, didn't you?
Yeah.
You did. I know. You're dancing around. You're like, heck yeah, I got it.
You made it again, and remember. Remember that time when I was watching YouTube that
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's okay. Come here.
Remember that YouTuber?
Yeah. Go upstairs. So let me go.
You remember that time you just said this?
I said not that. Yeah. Yep. I remember that. It's so good. You remember that?
Yeah, because I was just trying.
Let's not mention a who, okay?
I was just trying to find stuff to watch.
Yeah, I know, and it let it come up on your thing, so that's not your fault.
I just wanted to watch something because I didn't know.
Okay. No, you're good. You're fine.
I like that YouTuber though.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Here, I go upstairs though. I gotta go over this stuff. Okay, I love you.
Love you too.
All right. Close the door for me, okay?
Something because I didn't know.
I know. It's fine. You didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
No. The TV, the settings let you through. I got it. I got you.
Yeah.
That's problem. That's YouTube's problem, not yours, right?
Yeah, that's YouTube's problem.
What a bunch of jerks. Yeah. Well, and not only that, they had a child setting on it. I shouldn't let it through. But anyway, I go upstairs, close my door, okay?
But they don't know if there's a tracker or I don't.
Actually, they do know because the setting tells them. That's why I was like, that's not supposed to come through. Yep. Hey, by the way, can you say thank you to Andre?
Thank you.
Yeah, Andre sent you lip gloss money. Oh, man. Hey, Spirit Walker, by the way, can you say, hey, come over this way? So I'm going crazy. You're going to fall on that. I made a mess getting this computer in. So can you say thank you to Spirit Walker? They sent you $10 for, they said hi.
Hi.
So you had a lot of fun. Yeah. You're pretty funny. You know,
we go to places sometimes. We go to Murfreesboro sometimes and Cookville.
Yeah. Those are our big places, right?
Yeah, I like Cookville because they have that good ice cream.
Yeah, it's got that ice cream place. That's right. It's got some of the best ice cream. That's what I tell people.
And don't forget Spanky's, the food place.
Yeah, Spanky's. Yeah, that's a.
But why do they call that?
I don't know. They've been there forever. Yeah, they used to not be a big food place. They used to be a bar, which wouldn't be a place where kids would go, right? But they had great food, and then instead of focusing on that, they started focusing on food because they had really good food.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, you got to go upstairs though, for real. Okay.
Okay.
All right, love you.
And talk about Murfreesboro about me. I like the food place at Murfreesboro and the candy.
All right. Yeah,
talk about it, okay?
I'll think about it. You got to go upstairs though.
Talk about it.
All right. Funny.
Think about it too.
like, I'm gonna talk about candies. Okay, all right, close my door. Yeah, one day she got on YouTube, and it's supposed to show child content, right? And she was like, yeah, it's channel came. I'm not going to say who the YouTuber is, and it's not like explicit material or anything, but I was like, no way are you watching that. That person's awful, so, but it's funny, like YouTube, they push that stuff to little kids, man. Well, anyway, let's see. So, talking about the website thing, coming back up. Again, remember, this was part of the Save HG. Look at how far that's fallen, by the way. Now, underneath it, I've redacted. I just clipped this off of some pictures. But remember, they built the website. I mean, I don't know how to make that any clearer. They built the website. They put in themselves and their address and contact info as the PR team, only to come back and say, well, that wasn't live. Yes, it was. Everybody, when they found it, how do you think they found it? Because it was a live website. Otherwise, you can't see a website that is in the middle of being built. You don't have access, but everybody can see that. Their names were on it. They were the ones putting it together. It was their website, which they have now abandoned. That there's plenty of information saying that they were indeed the PR team. Now, of course, that is something they have damage controlled since then. And a bunch of ecosystemers, they mime that talking point. Like mindless. I mean, you think about it again. I have no idea how you get a bunch of idiots to buy into the idea that if they built the website, they control the website. They control whatever's there. They put in as the PR team. They're like, yeah, we are the PR team. Here's our contact info. Just like the legal team is Bruce. They had the Bruce as the legal team. And then they were like, no. That was just a fill-in. Yeah. There was actually going to be another PR team. We just put that in there as a placeholder. If you put in a placeholder, first of all, you go to the point of putting in your address info, of putting in a picture for, but no. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. But remember, that was on the now defunct website. And on top of that, with the website that was handed over, I think all this stuff is for Save HG now. First of all, let's talk about that. For the Save HG one, remember, they tried to come up with an excuse so they could abandon it. And really, this is them abandoning it per recommendation by authorities. And due to those using images and exploiting a 5-year-old, this site is temporarily not visible. Vague Nation does not own #SaveHG. ThATuMBRELLAgUY is not a PR firm. You don't have to be a PR firm, by the way, to run PR. They admittedly were taking PR. So they're freelancing it. Wow, what an answer. If you paid any attention to vetted your info, you know this. This site will be viewable after paperwork confirmation is required. Abandoned. Abandoned. Lovely, huh? Abandoned. But yeah, they put that up there. And then they changed it. They actually changed it over later on. They went in for, let's see. They went and changed it to this. This was their second attempt. Again, this is what they did with websites. They use a child as a bludgeon. And all while abandoning a child. It's amazing. Wild stuff, isn't it? I think all this is yep, exactly, Cynic in Chief. They not only, I'm sure you've looked at everything and pulled stuff up there, but they were hiding when they switched over. they didn't just try to hide stuff. They, you could see them. You could see a certain time period if you go in when they start talking about this, and you can see the transferal, which is kind of interesting. I'm sure you're smart enough and savvy enough that without giving them all of. I don't I don't want to give away their mistakes. There's also I'm sure there's that one thing that about identification of websites. Even if you're hiding websites, there's a specific way to tell who is an owner of a website, and they are not smart enough. I'm not talking about, just the basic who is. That's probably their way of going, but they didn't leave a breadcrumb, They left a radioactive signature, which is amazing. But they change the Save HG thing to this. So they go in with per recommendation by authorities. This is a notice explaining the removal of a website that was originally created to raise awareness about alleged harassment and abuse directed at a 5-year-old and a child. By the way, Michelle Preston, I'm of the mind to force you to redact this or sue you. Maybe that's the way to go. Because again, you decided to contact me. And I think one way, I really think that would be fun. Maybe I'll send you a demand letter and tell you that you will redact statements like this about your child. Since you knowingly made contact with me, you will state publicly that your child was not harassed by the very journalists that you had helped contact, or you will be sued. How's that sound? I mean, hey, why not? Maybe that would be fun. Then, because again, you keep playing a game about how you didn't make contact. Well, how far are you willing to play that game? I mean, then again, that might be fun. That might be a lot of fun. Maybe you could fundraise another lawyer. I don't know. But it'll be real fun. You're going to lie to them and be like, no, this never happened. Never gave permission. This notice names YouTuber Jeremy Hales, George, the channel What the Hales, as the primary accused of harassment. According to the notice, they used their YouTube channel and Facebook group to incite hate, spread false information, encourage others to harass, defame, and abuse the child and her family, both verbally and mentally. It also alleges that they contacted government authorities with false claims in an attempt to have the child removed from her home while publicly claiming they wanted to adopt her. The notice further states that other channels like Veteran Nation, ThATuMBRELLAgUY, Megan Fox, Mr. Coop, J Hip, and others also participated in the harm of the child and family for profit and online content. By the way, if you like this content, make sure that you share it everywhere. On top of that, because you see the butthurt here, the real butthurt here, and Lynette Preston said this too. The one thing that really bothered her is she didn't make money off of everyone else made money but her. So if you like this content, think about I don't know what you want to call them, whether you want to call them binge bucks, or you passing the chicken skins, or if you want to call that breadstick money, or as far as this stuff, if at the end of the day you just want to, I don't know, you want a picture, let's say. Oh my God, by the way, there was a really funny image shared. I'm going to show you. Let me put something up for you though. I don't know what you want to go with, but if you want to think about those happy breadsticks, think about a Bob Ross painting. Oh, let's paint a little happy breadsticks today. If you all want to paint some happy breadsticks, consider that. I love it. Actually, you know what? I think I might do that. I think I might do that while we're talking. Let me, I set up a ChatGPT. It's funny. The first thing I was like, what do I do on here? I set up ChatGPT and everything. JKPM, check this out. I thought this was funny too. So I put up that image of the little birdhouse. Look, he put up this and he was like, yep. That was Travis when he got his hair cut. He added funny, gimmicky glasses on the live. Look at him. He's hiding in the birdhouse, taking pictures. Yeah, if you'd like birdhouse bucks, maybe. That's it. If you'd like to contribute to a privacy shield so we don't have Travis taking pictures of us from the birdhouse, then consider that. You gotta admit that's pretty awesome. Give me 1 second. I gotta tell ChatGPT to make me some happy breadsticks. Hey, all right. Let's see. Take these and make some cartoon happy breadsticks. Riding in a buggy, shopping at Walmart. Put them in the front part like children. There we go. That's nice. Isn't that beautiful? Man, I kind of like it. Man, I can't believe, I'm telling you, it's been a long time since I've had a computer that responded really quickly when I type something. So strange. so exotic. So exotic indeed. Here, let's go back to the statements there. I mean, you can't believe, like, these people, again, they put this out there, though, but they're like, they do it for profit and online content because of the ongoing stalking and concerns that anything posted would be misused. The site was taken down November 19th, 2024, before it was broadcasted publicly. The August 2025 update. So look, here's the other thing. They waited to put this defamatory shit up there too. They waited from November 2024 to August 2025 to put up defamatory signs. And again, they did it in the name of, like I said, they put on that website that they are the PR for Michelle Preston, and their PR attacked us all. So I'm thinking about, like I said, it would be really fun to send them a cease and desist. I wonder. Maybe a demand letter. I think that might be fun. But it clarifies when the site was taken down and confirms that the owners removed it due to ambiguous content. Ambiguous content. Oh, them trying to say that when you read about someone being PR, they aren't actually PR. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? Now, the whole the Save HG, by the way, that is all archived. If you are curious about that, you can actually pull that up there and find out about it. Fun thing, too, when the polymop.com site, before the transferal was placed, you had 2L actually place an image on that thing. And you probably remember it. It was a Randy with a polymop crown on his head. They also, I mean, they put up polymop in, I mean, there's a lot, but most of that stuff, the beautiful thing, again, all of wonderful Polymopville ownership, you can actually track at least one site's owner. So whoopee, that might be fun, right? I like this though. This is pretty nice, and it is very detailed. I pulled down the results in front of you because I don't want certain addresses coming up and stuff, but it's got the addresses and everything else. Now, another thing that I really wanted to cover today, it has been a big topic as of late, so I thought that this would be the perfect date to cover it. You remember the bankruptcy hearing? Yeah, aka the cat lady says the only way to stop this is suing for defamation. They got all of you as abusers of HG. If all of you did it together, it'd be glorious. Yeah. I mean, well, with lawsuits, the only problem with the lawsuit there is, again, these people, what do they have to take? Especially, Hale's, I think I think it would be very clear, though, to, well, maybe we'll have some fun with that. We'll see. We'll see. I think I'll talk to some lawyer and see about making a wonderful demand letter, just to say, because again, the people that are making those statements 100% said that they work as PR for Michelle Preston. Michelle Preston can sit there and quote Bible until the fucking cows come home, but ultimately she got PR that is falling the fuck apart. She encouraged all of these nasty, nasty people online to do all this nasty business. And all the while, again, she's behind the scenes. She's contacting folks. So you cannot accuse myself. You cannot accuse Megan Fox and others of harassment, cyber stalking, more while reaching out to us and asking us to help you recover $100,000. It doesn't work both ways. You don't get both. That's not how things work. In the real world, that's a bunch of trash. So I wanted to go over this, though. It has been a few days now. And the reason I thought, we mentioned a couple of little parts out of it. And I thought about not going over the whole thing. But then it became a big talking point. A very big talking point. And 2L and the gang, they in fact have seemed to dig a hole for themselves pretty deep because of this hearing. So I thought, why not? We'll also christen the new system. It'll be glorious, like some of the banners back here. You got some "Nope, not today, Satans." Look at all this. Oh, so much fun. And so much fun. God, you all have to admit, by the way, that over the last, well, I'm going to say, God, has it been 10 days? I don't think it's been 10 days. How long have, I guess it has been a few days. It just feels like they all blurred together really fast since we started dropping bombshells. You know what I mean? So, oh, it is kind of amazing, right? Oh, let's do this, though. Oh my gosh. I made today's music video dancing with Sick. Yeah. Heck yeah, baby. Hey, by the way, so tomorrow, there will be a slight change up tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will have hosting over here. We will have a switch up of days. It works out for both of us. I'll let Megalodon's foe talk about the why and wherefore on her end, and for my end, we have Tuesday. I've got a huge doctor appointment that comes up that I've been waiting on for months. Vanderbilt has done everything they can to make me miss it. It went from supposed to happen in the late morning, about 9. At first I told them 10 and they told me they'd make it work, and then they told me 9, that's all they had. I was like, okay. So then they contact me and they tell me 8. It's going to have to be 8. And I was like, okay, because I can't drive myself. I got to not take medication or anything. It's for testing, right? So I have to have something. I was like, okay, I'll work it out. Then they contact me and tell me, even though there's early registration and everything, you actually need to be here in there and ready to go at 6:40 a.m. Now that's a heck of a travel, especially to get somebody to go. So we went from 10 o'clock to 6:40 a.m., but I'm still going to be there. Fuck them. But that'll be a long day. So it's good hosting wise if it is not me hosting in. So I think that works out. But let's check this out. I think this will be fun. Make sure that's locked in. Here we go.
Bankruptcy court. And the head flea, the walrus, Lisa Lee, is now in bankruptcy court too?
Bankruptcy court this morning was off the chain. Huh, ladies?
It got a little spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Sure did. Lynette does not know how to act professional. She lost her composure as usual. She gets extremely defensive, and just, you could tell her not only is her attitude, but her anxiety is over the roof as well.
Mm-hmm.
And now Fleesa is part of bankruptcy court.
See, I remember like the madness. So we hear about in the aftermath how this all comes about. 2L tells us that they decided to do this. I mean, off the cuff. Remember, they said that it was because of the fence, the fundraisers, which aren't. They said that they're not fundraisers. They're crowdfunders, which crowdfunding is fundraising, by the way. You could look it up, but they were like, oh, it's not that. But yeah, because of all of that, somehow they're potential creditors. Now they hammer the word potential, but they come up with this bizarre fucking plan, according to them, 10 minutes before the hearing. 10 minutes beforehand. They also, weirdly enough, Lisa, here's a question I'm curious about. Why do you refer to Jerome as your lawyer? You said that a couple of times. You actually, I think you messed up and called him your lawyer. Why would you do that? Is that a little bit of that Freudian slippage where you're like, whoopsie daisy, because you paid for him, therefore, and you're talking to him and he's not working in the best interest of Lynette Preston, in my opinion. In fact, Lynette Preston said, here's something. You want a fun little dilly that hasn't really been discussed? I think we need to talk about this with Tina. Lynette Preston said that as far as filings are concerned, she was writing all of her filings. All of that stuff, when I told you, yeah, look, there's her signature and stuff. It ended up confirmed that Lynette Preston is the one that was writing up every. I hear you on the steps. Give her a minute. She's coming. Remind me. Let me come back to that subject. It's a big one. Hey, girl, what you doing?
We're watching those Sex Days Foo on my TV.
Okay, well,
I do have those on my TV for real.
All right. Well, hey, you better go. What, do you want a lazy day today, or do you want to go have a work day?
Lazy day.
Well, you better go enjoy your lazy day because, there is some cleaning that needs to be done. If you need to go clean. All right. Well, go. Oh, you're suddenly tired. Huh? Yeah. I saw that yawn. Boy, that was very convincing. Well, you better go lay down then and enjoy your lazy day. Okay. Close the door for me. Love you. Love you. Close the door for me. I said, we'll call it lazy day, or you don't have to do like cleaning or something. She asks about lazy days a lot. And that means I don't have to clean my room today, is what that really means. So when I said, well, it's a work day or is it a lazy? She said, oh, you could hear her fake a yawn. She put her hand over her mouth like she's suddenly so tired. Oh, I'm so exhausted, Dad. I don't think I can do cleaning. Oh, she's a mess. She's funny. She's very funny. She just faked that one out straight up. And she was like, gotta leave now. You're mentioning cleaning. I gotta jet. Oh my God, that cracked me up. All right, so what I was saying is that, oh my God, what a nut. What I was saying here was that Lynette Preston made it very clear that the people that were paying for everything for her, or rather writing everything for her, was not her lawyer. The paperwork is being done by her. That's why it's such a mess in the bankruptcy. She said that she's being forced to fill out everything without any help. And then essentially, again, this is my word, but essentially she's stating that her lawyer is, quote unquote, rubber stamping it. Imagine that. 6,000, 3 times what this person normally gets paid. And she's having to fill out her own paperwork. And oh my God, by the way, I'm not going to mention this, but there is a major screw up in her bankruptcy stuff that I didn't think about until very recently. And it's something else. It It is some debt that they decided, whoopsie, forgot to write that off. And they're going to be, they're more worried about trying to write off debt that they probably can't in Jeremy Hale's than writing off stuff. If they're going to file bankruptcy, this right here, it may follow her all the way in. So not a good one, you know, not a good look for her. Not a very good look one at all. Man, by the way, I bought, what is that? Give me a second. Remind me to tell you about something I bought the other day after this. At the end of this, I'm going to tell you about something funny. It's nothing big. It's like a $5 thing, but I'll tell you. All right, let's go.
Or were you as shocked as I was, Deanna?
I was taken aback. Sure was.
You know, they were like, Deanna's very honest, but she's crazy and horrible. And I thought, man, you know what? I don't think we've ever really just sat down and had a conversation with Deanna. I think she would be a fun one to do that with. That is an oversight that I don't know why I've had that oversight. Now, again, that's in her court. If there's a reason she doesn't want to do that, that's fine too. But I think that would be fun. I think talking to her would actually be fun. She's a smart cookie, you know. She's somebody I think these people have underestimated quite a bit. And what idiots are doing so, you know.
I didn't think she could get out of the truck. I thought she was still stuck in a truck. How'd she end up in bankruptcy court?
I don't know. But according to Lynette's attorney, he specifically told the trustee that they were considering adding her as a creditor. How is she a creditor when she owes Lynette money and is withholding money that was raised for her?
I think to answer that question, we got to go back all the way to.
I think on this stuff, by the way, I think one of the major ticket concerns in that was, you know, the overriding factor was to harass Jeremy Hales. Out of anything. The overriding one, if you listen to their live streams talking about it, they were like, we were laughing for hours because Jeremy, he was uncomfortable. You know, so they did all this to harass a creditor. You had the person, I mean, you think about this. It's not 2L that's harassing. It's, again, Lynette Preston and her counsel bringing in somebody that is definitely, what's the criteria for them being a creditor in any way, shape, or form? Because they did fundraisers, because they're being questioned over money. Now, maybe they thought that would shut down some questions. But on top of it, it sounds like yet another plan to harass not just Jeremy, but to harass all creditors, especially Jeremy, but to harass any of these other creditors where lawsuits are sending, you know, as a message. You know, I see you. We're coming after you. We'll be everywhere with you. Again, that Lynette Preston can sit around quoting gospel till the fucking cows come home. But at the end of the day, it looks like she's working with people to harass Hales. And I mean, it looks worse and worse in every forum, every venue.
At the beginning. Now, we got a ton of notes. We have a lot of notes because that's legal in a federal case such as this. Recording is not, which was addressed at the end as well.
That is true, too. You can take notes in any case. Anything I've ever had to be involved in, I always take notes. It is a smart thing to take notes. You do not record. That is a difference, but you are allowed to write down things for yourself. Your own man. It doesn't matter what it's in. You know, you've seen plenty of cases where a person is sitting there and they're making notes for themselves. I mean, it happens in everything. But yeah, recording, nay. And their own people said, yeah, Gabe talked about how trustee. So let's continue.
So George and I and Deanna and others were jumping on to the Zoom link pretty early because let's face it, we love to see the show that Lynette puts on. I mean, it gets a little crazy.
It does.
It gets interesting.
We've seen the recorded one, you know. They're gonna be like, oh my God, a recording. Yeah, it's called Depot. Did you know they said that the Depot was an illegal recording, by the way? Did you know that? They said that the deposition for her case that we all saw was an illegal recording. What a bunch of morons. But they said that recently. I saw that in one of theirs too. I mean, these are some of the dumbest human beings alive.
Never disappoints, does she? Oh my goodness. So we're on early. We are scheduled to be in bankruptcy court at 11:10. This is a continuance from a previous creditors meeting. Mm-hmm. And there was a deposition. Well, deposition is the wrong word. There were questions being asked by Randy of Lynette to where the trustee got frustrated and just said, you know what, let's just stop here. We're going to do a continuance, which did not happen.
They tried to call it, though. Well, here's the funny thing. 2L and the gang, they were like, that's a lie. You know, it's a lie. Even though the trustee came in, even though the trustee said that that's going to be, you're going to actually have to do this and leave the county courtroom, all of that, it's somehow still a lie. Well, I mean, at some point you would think that the people that listen to their show would be like, wait a minute. They're talking about the exact same thing here, but somehow it's a lie. How is that? Exactly. Just Jay said, I have faith in Felisa. You have a link to send her money. I do. It's a PayPal link. It actually again, much like anything that they do, they like it to divert through. So if you would send that to That Umbrella Guy, it'll definitely, it'll definitely make its way nowhere.
Happened today. There is no more continuances. So at 10:57, George and myself, we joined for the crazy party. Nothing's going on. You're in another room. What are you doing at that time?
I was actually on. I just had my camera off, and I was just waiting for it to start.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we were waiting, all of us, for Lynette to do what she does best. Stupid stuff. And we already were knowing what to expect, because in these bankruptcy courts, the trustee isn't a judge.
Bonnie said it'll go out the same day as Megan's leg warmers. Well, technically, Megan's leg warmers have gone out. They've gone out around the block and maybe to Walmart. Oh, you meant mailed. My bad.
Which I find extremely funny, because you're going to see later, Lynette actually says Your Honor to the trustee, which makes no sense at all. The trustee can have as many communications outside of the courtroom with whoever she wants, as she has with our legal counsel. The trustee is beyond frustrated at this point with the delays, with the lies.
Yeah.
And so we already know what to expect going into this. So we know Saran Wrap has already messaged the trustee and said, I'm going to challenge the Levy County Courthouse Judge Grubb decision holding Lynette liable and Scott Stark liable for sanctions, attorney fees, the whole deal. Yeah. I didn't share that email with you. It came in late last.
Yeah. How does that make sense, by the way? So the dude who is admittedly not part of that case is going to somehow now challenge a decision in that case? Isn't that bizarre? He's like, I'm going to challenge that. Yeah. Are you her counsel then? Is that what you're saying? And what's amazing is either he's overstepping, Bruce is getting him to overstep. Not sure exactly what's there, but that one probably isn't one that you want to get involved in, by the way. Of anyone, like this guy, he's already had his own problems. This dude wants to, I think it would be beautiful. I think it would be beautiful for him to get involved. I mean, there are so many questions about things like, again, why exactly people are paying him 3 times the amount of money that another person typically gets paid. Was money collected fraudulently? Since he already said he wasn't representing her in that case, now he's representing. Very weird, isn't it? Very weird, but could lead to some real fun outcomes. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Jerome, I've seen your best hits, by the way, on YouTube, so you should do it.
Now, you know how Saran Wrap likes getting it in real late.
Incorrectly.
Well, very incorrectly.
Interesting. But he told that same judge that he does not represent her in the Levy County case.
Yep.
Just bankruptcy.
Oopsie.
Interesting. You mean somebody defrauded people out of $6,000, stating that it was for a lawyer in 2 Levy County and 2 federal cases in Florida?
No way.
Yeah, that would be a felony. And that individual is already being referred to the Florida Supreme Court for felony charges. Still no lawyer, is there?
Interesting.
Okay.
So did he just inadvertently admit that he's going to be writing her motions? I guess we shall see.
That's a good point. Look,
There'll
George,
be a lot to see. So Deanna's in the back.
That is actually a very good point by George, just to say, did they accidentally put us in the no-no about who is going to be writing some of those motions?
In the waiting room. And then we knew that Madam Mayor Therese was back in the waiting room as well. And we're just waiting and waiting. It's 11:05 at this point. We're getting antsy. The show's about to begin. And then there's
check this out
outside.
I'm gonna pause this for a minute. Check this out. It'll have music on it. Look, here's the breadsticks going to Walmart. They're shopping. Oh, aren't they cute? Little breadstick shopping.
Can you believe it? The garbage truck comes. And I thought we were already living in this real life garbage dump. I said, no, we had the garbage truck come. Look.
We loaded you up, didn't we? That's how we do it in Otter Creek. Appreciate you guys. Merry Christmas.
We finally get started at 11:13. George, who was in the waiting room?
I saw our name pop up. We didn't have our camera on, which we're not required to have our camera on because we're just creditors. We're not the debtor. Right. I saw Randy was on, attorney Randy was on, attorney Dennis was on. I saw attorney Jerome was on. And then you see the trustee. I saw Deanna, Therese, but the debtor, her camera wasn't on.
Well, that's very true. But did you see that name, Lisa, come up as well?
Oh, yes. But it was just Lisa. There was no last name.
Now,
interesting.
Here's something, too. 2L kept saying, he's losing his mind. He's losing his mind. Oh, my God. Does he seem like he's losing his mind? Does he? He's looking at that, and he's like, these people are fraudulently, like all of them should know better. They should all know better than to do this, And yet, oh, man. So some of you said, by the way, that the breadsticks, they looked very cold. So what do you think here? While we're on our shopping trip with the breadsticks, just to say here, let me look, they're going to pick up some leg warmers. Check this out. Oh, look, leg warmers. Oh, don't they look happy now? Now they look warm and everything. Does that make you feel better? Let me pull this back up. Man, this is so much better to control, by the way. Look how much control I have. It's amazing. I'm never going to... God, I'm going to be an absolute mess from now on. It's going to be 10 times crazier. Because I can switch things over. I can make things work quicker. Oh, my God. This is a miracle. Oh, so good. Now, anyway, let's continue.
The world still wants to know, what is the real last name? Why would she abandon Poppy Seed's last name?
It's weird. Everything about that woman is weird.
Deanna, you see some guy in there named Gene?
I did. And I'll be honest, when I saw Gene and I saw Lisa, I was a little confused, but then when Gene was in there and he wasn't supposed to be, I thought maybe there's a chance that this isn't the Lisa that we think it is.
Oh no.
But it was.
It was the overgrown flea.
It was.
That we all know and can't stand.
And so
somebody mailed a really good point, Lisa Lee. Here's an idea. If LP wasn't part of the inner circle and wasn't part of all of that, does that mean that everything that's been done to Jeremy Hales was all you? Is that what you're saying? I am curious about that. Are you admitting more fault in this than we actually first thought? That is a good point. You know, somebody wrote and said, yeah, isn't she admitting fault? And I mean, that is good, because everything that's going on, if she's saying that I'm not actually working for that person, well, that means you're doing it on your own, right? It means that you just decided, hey, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to target this business. Not with direction or anything. Again, it makes it sound like you just admitted to, what's that thing? Fed 2. All of the allegations in Fed 2 are actually true. Fun times indeed. Anyway, let's continue.
Trustee had to change her name for her.
Yeah. Well, that did happen. And so there is some guy named Gene in there. And the trustee starts going through the roll call. It's like, I don't see
Gene
the debtor.
name was real.
Which would be Lynette. Lynette goes, I'm here. And Saran Wrap has to tell her yet again, you have to be on camera, on screen.
Well, he was a little nicer. He said, Michelle, you have to turn your camera on.
Well,
he wasn't as stern as
that's
you.
True. That's true. But how many times does she have to be told the same thing over and over and over again?
Yeah, the trustee said, I can't see you. And so she finally figured it out and put her camera
you know
on.
the trustee cannot be happy about that. Again, the trustee has had to tell her before to do this. And they're there to help out people that are in need. And these folks, they definitely feel like they are taking advantage of it. You know, also, one thing that 2L and all of their stupid letters, which we do need to, I think tomorrow at the beginning, I am going to bring up all of those letters that were written to the court, plus all of the items that Jeremy brought up in those last few days, because we never put them all together. So we need to put them all together and really talk about the sequence of how that happens. Plus, oh, this is fun. So somebody was like, hey, Tug, you need to check out this one live stream where Lisa Lee makes it very clear that they will be contacting. You know, they are going to, give me 1 second here. Let me pull this. I got to find the day on it. Let me play this and then I'll tell you which one. I got to pull it up.
Well, the other thing the trustee says is, now you go by Lacey, right? She goes, I prefer Michelle, Your Honor.
Wait.
This is a trustee. This is not a magistrate, not a judge. I can't even fathom what's going on. And then we're told about.
Well, on 11/18 live stream 2025, they said, quote, and from what I understand, the trustee may not know everything about Shockett, and if Germ is going to be finding out real quick. Now they kept talking about, you know, contact and everything else and stuff. And then suddenly they start talking about how they're going to be finding out real quick. Now, how would they find this stuff out, by the way? These allegations that they keep making. Well, of course, they mailed them. So it very much looks like after you have mail links popping up, you have, you know, her inserting right after all of that stuff, you know, or right with that stuff rather coming up. I mean, it all looks like coordination and collusion, again, to harass a creditor. Jeremy Hales did not add himself. That's one thing that you have to note with all of this. Jeremy Hales didn't ask to be added into this case. They threw him in. They wanted to do something malicious. They wanted to ruin his name, his business, and more. And then they were like, we get a pass. Okay.
So, George, why don't you take that one away?
So she asked, well, who is Lisa? Because Lisa's not listed anywhere on her bankruptcy paperwork. Right. She's not listed as a creditor,
that, by the way,
and wasn't even listed on the amended creditors list. Not even on the second amended creditors list, not even on the third amended creditors list. And so Attorney Ramsaran said that he was considering adding her as a creditor, and they gave her the information to join via Zoom.
Yes, they gave her.
But no, she's not even.
They dumped it 10 minutes beforehand. 10 minutes after she said that I contacted my lawyer. Wait, what? Your lawyer? Well, wait, again, just because you paid for them. And remember now, they've all but admitted they paid for it now because Tina put them on blast about it. And the lies, they were like, whoops, gigs up. So the person that they said is a liar, they can't spend money for, they can't bail a child out of a 10 by 15 hole in the wall when their guardian is asking for it. Suddenly they can come off of money, because money, when it comes to projects and more, it's only for those things that they say, unless they want to change the rules. It's weird. It's so fucking weird. They cannot keep up with, like, it's not just the lies. They can't keep up with the rules they embed for this. It's all amazing. I love it. I love watching this meltdown that they are having in the ecosystem. They are in the middle of a massive meltdown, and it is funny. If things play the way that I think they may play to today, we'll see. But if things go, depending. Now, they didn't pop up on one of their money days. So if they don't pop up today, that's a really crazy sign. So I'm thinking something may happen today. And if it happens, oh my God, we will have the most glorious week next week. We'll see. I mean, these people are pretty predictable, but there are a couple of ways certain events can play, and I'm curious how they're going to play, because they're in the middle of a damage control maelstrom. It's not one thing they're damage controlling against. It's half a dozen right now. And while they're doing that, it's getting bad for them. It's getting bad for them to the point that you can only scream and whine and fake cry to your dwindling audience so much that you're the victim in this before people start asking questions. And when they start asking questions, you only block so many of them and treat so many of them like shit before other ones leave too. Oh, let's continue.
Why can't she just speak for herself?
Didn't turn her camera on either. Still won't show the world what she really looks like. Now, you're going to see it. You absolutely will see it. It's coming. Tick, tock, tick, tock.
And it was then at that point where the trustee said, how do you spell her last name? And then changed Lisa's name to appear on the screen.
Now, I got to ask, ladies, why would Fleesa be in a creditor's meeting with Lynette? Any ideas? What's your hypothesis?
You want to go first, Dee? What do you think?
I think she's there because she's nosy and she just wants to weasel her way
that
in.
made them really
and
mad.
The only way she can do that is to become a creditor so that she has the opportunity to watch without being caught behind the scenes.
That's a good.
Oh God, Dee made you so mad by saying that. Oh my God, I'm not nosy. It was so freaking hilarious. Dee doesn't. Dee's not exaggerating, but Dee's wrong. I'm not nosy. How dare they say? She's crazy. Oh, Dee. Oh, it's funny. Good stuff.
Good observation. Yeah. I mean, she does. She always wants to be in the no.
Yeah.
and privy to information.
Poppy Seed
I'll get right on that,
wants it up
Josh.
that nose.
Yeah, she loves being privy to insider information, and so I wholeheartedly believe.
Poppy seeds, you say? Oh no, I feel the craving. I feel the craving for some poppy seeds. You know, anytime somebody mentions them, I almost can't control myself anymore. God, those poppy seeds, you didn't know, did you?
Blazing the whip, gotta vanquish the needs. My kingdom for some poppy seeds, yo.
Those poppy seeds, baby. Gotta have them sometime. So dumb. Poppy seeds indeed.
That she was recording this meeting.
Or could it be that Lynette reached out to Tug? Lynette has actually moved forward with representation to legally sue and go after the stolen donated money against Lisa Lee. Therefore, there is going to be a lawsuit. Therefore, Lisa Lee, the head flea, is now going to be a creditor.
You think they set her up?
You think they set her up?
I wonder that, for real. That's actually an interesting hypothesis.
Well, have you seen the size of her? She's taking a lot of bait, George. I don't think bait is something she leaves sitting around. So, okay.
True that.
There's something going on there. And I can assure you, we might be in the no-no because the Momos, they're everywhere.
See, okay, now you have credit. Remember, with this, they have gone from saying all the mole talk is fake to saying, well, Lynette, when she was talking to people, she was just mad. But Lynette, oh no, didn't talk to Tug. Oh no. Even though it's like, did you see the clips where she's responding to me and stuff? Oh, well, we can't talk about those. We can't. Everything's fake. Transcripts are fake. Videos are fake. Oh wait, is Leslie talking on her own video? Is that fake? Oh well, yeah, that we know who a mole is. We know. Wait. So again, there have been, and it's not one or two moles. This is something I'm trying to get across to people. You need to understand that the rats have been abandoning their ship, and they've been abandoning very quickly. And it puts 2L in the gang in a very precarious situation. By the way, this is fun too. If we've been collecting some crazy stuff for a while, and we've never gone over. So if we ever get a pause, since all these other cases are going on, oh my God, there is so much stuff out there. I tell you, somebody who's done a good job going through a lot of old stuff. There's a few people, but I tell you, Tizzy is a very, very good set of eyes looking at all of this stuff. Man, Tizzy, I'm talking about people with microphones. Now, there are a lot of you out there that have, God, I've showcased a bunch of you, and there are so many more too. I feel like, there are a lot of you that deserve shout outs, and I don't know if you want them. I don't. Again, that these people take aim at you, but you know who you are. Many of you do a great job, man. Tizzy's been looking at some certain things right now, and oh my God, if they ever do decide, the problem is they run into is if they ever stop talking their smack about Hales, they lose everything. They've watched it. They're down to a couple hundred people, and those will dwindle out. They will really quickly. They'll end up with mod numbers. And it's funny, the mods, if they, the mods, they should see the direct result of linking in with these folks. It's not, oh, wow, you get 40 or 50 more folks. Wow. Over time, that won't hold because without them, you're getting 10 or 11. You'll go backwards. Such a mess. What's weird, too, and they haven't figured this out yet either. They always talk about Jimmy's going to lose. Well, you realize your fate is attached to him no matter what. So if one day he's like, I've done my thing, win, lose, or draw. These people are finally, they're off my business. What else do they have? They'll be relegated to, again, just really angry, really douchebag. Oh man, by the way, something else came up. I want to mention real fast. So somebody mentioned something that I didn't really think about the other night. Let me show you this real quick. So they were talking about the, I was focusing on the threats toward Tina that had been posted, right? And they focused on the other side of this. Now, I'll bring the video up in just a second again, but you know how this is live sometimes, especially when I was fighting with control over my stupid computer or the other one. Now, this stuff is pulling up. The computer looks so sad sitting over there by itself, but it's like it's on timeout. You deserve it. No. But one of the things that they pointed out, they were like, so you mean to tell me that the people that were responsible for quote unquote the memorial, that they're inner, so this is Marla's statement, they're in the inner circle of all these folks. So as far as when you're talking about certain ones conning and conniving people and trying to destroy somebody, so they're not just some innocent people sitting in the backdrop that just want privacy. They're actually in the inner circle of these folks. So they're part of the con and the grift and the bullshit. Is that what the message is in this? Because that actually is kind of interesting. Like I said, I was focused on the portion up here and I wasn't really focused on this. But this statement is a hell of a statement when you think about it. I'm sure. I mean, this right here, Marla herself is throwing these people in there as part of this. It's wild. Remember, they just want privacy. They don't want any part of it, but they're part of the inner circle. They're saying, essentially, they are part of the ecosystem. So the other stuff, when somebody is saying that $1,000 was stolen for something that was never made manifest, you mean to tell me they were part of it? Because that doesn't help them legally. That's for fucking sure. It sounds like they were part of bilking a bunch of people too. Anyway, let's continue.
Lisa herself is a mole.
Let's transition to Gene.
Okay.
So Gene's in there, and the trustee is like,
Gene.
who are you? Because I have a meeting here at 11. Trustee says, you missed your meeting. You didn't file anything, and I'm removing you. I'm sitting there going, if this doesn't sound like Lynette, there is another male Lynette out there named Gene. He got the boot. Okay.
Quickly.
All right. What happened then?
So the trustee went through the list of creditors again, and then she had to remind the panelists that documents were added the day of the last meeting, which was, I have it right here, which was December 9th, Tuesday, December 9th, where Attorney Ramsaran decided to submit paperwork at the last minute, the morning of.
Literally the morning of. And that's why the trustee was so frustrated, so upset, and filed a continuance. I'm like, I ain't doing this. This is ridiculous.
He keeps getting it wrong. He keeps getting it wrong. Every time he submits something, he forgets to do something.
Deanna.
But he's an attorney.
But Deanna, they said this attorney was going to blow my mind.
They did.
I'm thoroughly entertained. It's mind-blowing. It literally is.
It really is mind-blowing. I thought they did say that he wouldn't be able to handle this and they were going to have his mind blown and he was going to get buried by it. Every time they bring something new in, you're like, oh, this is going to be a new shit show, isn't it? Oh, my God. I tell you, Jerry, like I said, I know it has cost the man a lot. I know there's been stress on him. He's had to make some difficult decisions. These people, for example, I'm gonna throw this out there. These people kept saying that if Jeremy Hales returned to Levy County, that they had all been plotting and they were going to have him arrested. They were all stating that. Lynette Preston was chirping about all her meetings with Beecham and all these other folks behind the scenes. You have no idea, man. Like, just wait. Beecham one day, boy, I hope you get the answer for that because of all the fucked up stuff that Lynette Preston was saying. I really hope you arrive in Ohio. But he had to make the decision. Is that real? Or, where do you go with that? Do you let people interfere with your life and your business and everything else? Or just say, fuck it, and let the chips fall where they may? Because they've been plotting. They spent these people. Most of these people have nothing else in their lives except their hatred for Jeremy Hales. So they spend every waking moment trying to ruin this man's life. And you do think about the stressors for that. So, I hate that for him. Having said that, these people are the fucking most entertaining morons I've ever seen. It is like the circus come to town. Everything seems to go wrong that they do.
Mind-blowing how many things somebody can completely and totally fail at. All right, what's Lynette look like, guys? What's she wearing? How's she prepped? What's going on?
Well, I think she's taken your lead by wearing the exact same top every time she appears.
Okay,
it's like a pajama top, and her hair is nicely groomed. However, I did notice that there was a legal pad sitting in front of her on the table, and she's just drawing.
She's doodling. She's doodling. She did a half circle. While all this is going on, she's doing a half circle. She's doodling. And I'm sitting there going, her entire life is crumbling before her based on what she's done illegally and trying to get out of it in bankruptcy court. And what is she doing?
Drawing.
Can't even fathom the stupidity, the ignorance, the foolishness of this. Did you see her doodling?
I did.
Yeah.
And my thought was she's probably just pretending to write things, although she doesn't pretend very well, because she's eventually going to get to hear it over again anyway.
True that.
From a possible recording that might have happened.
That would be illegal.
That was illegal and it couldn't happen. So surely that didn't happen. Surely not.
That would be illegal. So then we transition into this entire conversation about the Jeep because Saran Wrap filed these new documents the morning of during the last meeting. Now the trustees actually had the opportunity to go over them.
Yeah.
George, why don't you tell us what's going on with that?
The trustee did say that she had time to go over the.
Holy crap. I didn't realize that they threatened Lips the other night. Man, somebody sent over something I had not read yet. And wow, it very much reads like a threat to Lips. I got a lot of stuff on you too, is how it reads. Wow. Wow. This is getting really ugly. Holy shit. I mean, they straight up threaten you, Lips. Oh my God. They did. What I just read, and there's so much. I got to go through this, but holy moly, man. I know what we'll be talking about tomorrow. My God. I mean, yeah, I got information on you too. That's what it basically reads like. That is amazing. The chickens come home to roost. More like the chicken skins, exactly. The chicken skins come home to roost. God, that's crazy, man. Thank you for that, by the way. There's so many live streams that come up from this or that. I can't keep up with every one of them. I can say that certain people have stopped threatening me since I mentioned that certain article that's out there about, they know what it's about, right? Again, we can always talk about that if you'd like. But let's continue.
The documents that he submitted last minute during the last meeting on December 9th, but she had additional questions because she needed clarification because the paperwork wasn't filled out correctly, which he was told about last time. The same thing she brought up
Lynette's
again.
filling it
She
out.
mentioned the last time. So she brings up how the Jeep was listed at 50% ownership with a $900 value. And the trustee was like, the math ain't math. And
Hold on a sec. I thought it was one. Here, you go. You.
Okay, so she was confused about it, like she was last time. She said it was that they had it valued at 20,000
on one form.
On one form, and she marked as 50% owner. No, but
Remember how we went through that and talked about how that is? That's because, again, according to Lynette, she is being forced to fill out all the paperwork on her own and figure it out. Her $6,000 lawyer ain't doing it. She is. That's according to her. I mean, she has gotten the most expensive fucking bankruptcy lawyer for simple bankruptcy I've ever seen. And she's still doing the paperwork on her own. So when this stuff is coming and getting thrown in her face, one of the reasons she ain't answering it correctly is because she doesn't know what to say. Oh my God, Lynette. Do you not realize these people are burying you? At some point, I have to wonder, when your bankruptcy lawyer doesn't do your paperwork, are they working for you? Are they working for someone else to take everything from you as an object lesson? Well, you think about it. You've insulted the lawyer that was working around with you, right? The guy there, he's a vindictive person. You've said that. He yells at you and stuff. 2L, who pays for people, who is also one of these people that, has helped with selection process, I suppose. What are you going to get into? I mean, if they bury you in bankruptcy and then they bury you in Ohio, you are fucked. Maybe they're doing it intentionally. Maybe the fence videos are on purpose. Maybe they know they're violating the PO. Maybe they're hoping that all of this stuff, but again, how in God's name does somebody charge that amount of money and pretend they're your advocate, and then things go this way with Lisa popping up in the fucking courtroom, her filling out her own documentation? Again, I cannot figure out, ineptitude. Sure, that can be an explanation, but the level of it where it all amounts to one person really bearing the burden of it. Because Preston bears the burden of almost every bad thing that's going on right now. Every decided bad thing that's happened, she's definitely the one that's going to pay. How is that not planned? They talk about how they didn't like her. You even have John plotting with them. Holy shit. I mean, how can you not tell me at some point it definitely looks like it's planned, right? It can't just be me thinking that. Oh, Lord, man, it's nuts.
But then it was 900 is what she said. 900.
900, right. And then on another form, it was listed at, didn't get there yet. It was listed at 20K. And then on another form, it was listed at 18K.
All right, I stand corrected. You know what? If you ever want to be corrected.
Not 18, 5K.
5K.
There was three values, 900, 20K, and then 5K.
If you ever want to be corrected in your life, make sure you have a Cuban, an Arabic, and there's an Italian woman over there. They will correct you in a heartbeat. Make sure you're on the right path. So appreciate the correction there, ladies. So this whole thing is going on, and the trustee's going,
That's funny.
I don't understand. Explain this to me. And Lynette goes, well, I don't understand it either. I don't have the bills, but I can tell you that the Jeep is through Grove Financial. And the trustee says, your schedules, they didn't come in right. And Saran Wrap says, yeah, I got to fix them. And she asked, did you get the reaffirmation agreement yet? No, we haven't gotten that yet based on Saran Wrap. So this whole conversation about the Jeep where the numbers don't add up, they don't math up at all. Interesting.
He actually said he was confused. He said that. I wrote it down.
Because he did
Saran Wrap.
Saran
he didn't
Wrap
write
said,
stuff up.
he made a mistake. He was confused again. Like This is the fourth one?
Sorry, my lawyer is calling right now about this. We'll be back.
BRB.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Woo!
Well, that was an exciting call.
Just to be clear, for Fleesa to be involved in this bankruptcy court hearing as a potential creditor, that would mean that Lynette somehow, some way owes Fleesa money.
Right.
In other words, we're looking at more criminal charges. Fleesa has just enjoined herself as a fraudulent creditor in
That's
a
why
bankruptcy court.
she was hammering.
Is
Look,
getting out of control to the
this
point.
is why
I'm-
right here, to counter his statement, she kept saying, actually, I'm a potential creditor. I haven't, you read between the lines there. I haven't committed fraud yet. And it's like, well, about that. I mean, really think about the statement. That's why she wanted to hammer. I mean, again, she made it very clear. You go back and look at that transcript. Potential, because Jeremy scared the shit out of her. You know, Jeremy, George, Deanna, all of them, they scared her. It's just amazing. And, you know, they keep taking legal advice from people that, well, they keep getting in trouble. So, oh, okay.
Literally getting another call because the trustee is talking to the lawyers, my lawyers, right now about all of this, what Fleesa just did.
It's crazy.
To say it is hitting the fan in the bankruptcy court, it's a little bit of an understatement right now. Okay, I'm in shock.
No. Are you really in shock?
You're right. I keep saying, could they really ever do anything more stupid? And they never disappoint.
Right.
So you know what I think we should say right now?
We're in disbelief.
Could they really do anything more stupid than what they just did, adding Fleesa as a fraudulent creditor?
I think they can.
Just wait. They will.
Yep.
They will.
They
All
will.
right. We were at the point where
The problem is that they
is going.
Here's the issue: they dig their hole deeper and deeper, and they're desperate to get out of the hole. So then they do something to try to get out of the hole, and it digs a hole deeper again. Like I said, ultimately, the person that's really eating the cost to this currently. Now, I'm not saying long term they can't, that Lisa and others wouldn't, but in them now, the person that really pays for this stuff, it's going to be Lynette Preston. So they don't care. In the now, they figure they can do anything they want. And Lynette's the only one that pays for it. Like I said, Lynette wanted to threaten the wrong people. Ultimately, at the end of the day, like I said, I would help her out. I'd do all this. And then she starts fucking having people threaten me and others all the time. So no, you don't get it both ways. Maybe you should have thought about that. Maybe at the end of the day, you should think about it. She turns on everybody. I figured that she would get farther than, a week. Yeah. I gave her a bit of time too with her threatening bullshit. I actually sat quiet while she threatened. I was after a while, I was like, all right. Cause I'd said, remember I told you guys, if she threatens and they bring a lawsuit or something, I have a nuke that is a get out of lawsuit free card. I kept telling you guys, I've got this thing. That's what I was talking about. I was trying to tell Lynette Preston, you better shut the fuck up and quit threatening, and you better stay the course if you want this, because you sure ain't going to threaten me after what you did. And she decided, to have her man and all that. They could continue to threaten. So, okay. So then we put it out in public. And of course, they wanted to play. All this stuff, like I said, the best thing they've done, the way that they try to counter all of that is they try to use Tina's dead son as a bludgeon to try to silence her. They try to deny any reality. They try to intimidate all of these people in creditors' meetings. Look at what they're doing. It's fucking crazy. And God, surely people in the ecosystem can see how messed up this stuff is. Surely some of those people see it and they're like, you know, this is beyond the pale. It's gross. You know, I don't expect her culty people to notice or to care, but some of those other people, surely at some point, man, there has to be a point where you think, my God, you know, you've known a person that's been scammed there, or you know a person that's been threatened. At what point do some of these people, do they have a problem with it? You know, even when it hits close to home. I mean, then again, like I said, many of them have given money, and for them to admit that this stuff is a brazen con, they have to admit that they've been conned. And I think that's hard for some people. It's hard for their egos.
Hey, the schedules are all screwed up. The filings for the money, right? The values are all different. 20,000, 5,000, 900.
There was actually 18,000. I have 4 numbers listed on my notes here.
And Saran Wrap was confused. He said he was confused.
You mean Deuces?
What a shocker.
Go get her bulldog, gonna get us in Florida, lawyer?
Bankruptcy lawyer.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there's no doubt he looks completely and totally confused on camera as well. He is so far out of his specialty. He has no idea what's going on. Literally no idea.
Maybe confusion is his specialty. Maybe that's
The
the plan.
asked for
That's the plan. If he doesn't know what's going on, he figures, how the heck does anyone else know what's going on, right? That's the plan. I got you.
a copy of the loan agreement on the Jeep, and he said he didn't have that, and they were working on getting that. But I highly doubt he even got in touch with them to get it. It was just an excuse to delay even more. And so then the trustee had to explain to him again for the second time on how to properly fill out the paperwork on the Jeep.
Yeah, he didn't fill it out.
And explained that the value on the amended complaint has the 2 different values, 20K, 5K. She cannot cross off that all of it is exempt. She needs the number amount and not 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's trying to put it 100% is exempt.
She needs value.
You have to say this much money is exempt. This guy's supposed to be a professional in bankruptcy.
Bankruptcy attorney.
No.
Well, remember, he hasn't been doing this as long.
So then I remember thinking to myself, she already explained this to him the last time. And then he followed up with, you're right. I understand. You explained this to me last time, and I didn't do it.
That is funny.
How many times does he need to be?
You know what I love?
told?
You know what I love? Like George is very serious a lot of times, right? You know, and she's going through, she wants to convey the information. And you know it's funny when she's sitting there and because she's not just thinking about, man, this guy's dumb. She's thinking about the stupid that this guy has done. Like George cracks, like situations like that, George cracks me up with, because you can just see the reflecting back. She's like, oh my God, this guy's an idiot. You know, it's bad. Like Jeremy's an excitable person like myself, right? You know, he's always like, ah, ha, ha, ha. George oftentimes is conveying matter-of-fact items, you know, and she gets laughing at stuff, but man, for her to go on that, like I said, I love it. Absolutely love it, because you know it is a shit show. I look how amused she is.
Then she goes into, all right, well, let's talk about these creditors. You list no pending cases, no lawsuits, no pending cases. All you did was list names. You have to list the cases. Saran Wrap goes, I did. And the trustee says, no, you listed. Oh my goodness, we're getting another call. Oh yeah. Okay, we're going to ignore that one. Okay. And trustee says, no, you listed names and potential claims. You have no case information at all. And she even double checked. She goes, let me double check. I'll just double check right now. And he's going, no, I did it. And she's going, no, you didn't. And you didn't put any of it on the schedules or the filings for bankruptcy.
His phone's blowing up.
He said, well, it should be on Schedule A and B towards the end. And she said, no, I still need a list of all this pending civil cases. I need the case numbers, the names. I need the jurisdiction. She goes, in this district, that's what we require. Because he works technically in a different district because he's south of Levy County.
The reality is he's clueless, right,
Yeah.
Deanna?
He actually said, and I did another quote. It says, Ramsey says, oh, I see. I should have displayed that differently.
Professional.
Yeah. And at this point, Lynette is doodling some more on her pad.
It gets even better. At 11:23, you can see I wrote it down right here. Lynette literally gets up and leaves. Lynette gets up and leaves at 11:23. And then she comes back starting to draw some more. Her entire life is in shambles.
Well, why would she need to take notes? She's got attorney Ramzaran covering it for her. Remember, she said, that's why I hired an attorney. He's doing all that for me. I don't understand it either.
Oh boy, you can't make this stuff up.
I wonder on which side of it does she fall? Like some days she's like, he's covering it. But again, behind the scenes, she was telling people that she's doing all the work. She's having to do everything. So again, that's stuff that's sourced in. Like I said, some of the things I have got to ask Tina specifically about all the information the next time we talk about the bankruptcy. Because hey, somebody got a big mouth, you know. It's not just that. Here's the wonderful thing. It wasn't just the Ohio case that Lynette was like, blah, 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 on. She was talking about the bankruptcy too. I mean, she let a lot out. And like I said, you know, Tina's a nice person. You know, Tina talked about some things and didn't talk about certain things. And their response to her speaking, instead of being like, well, she tried to show a little bit of tact or decorum with something. They're like, yeah, we're going to aim at the worst tragedy that a person can go through. Okay, that's definitely a way to go. Probably not a smart one.
Then transitions. Okay, it transitions into Randy asking deposition questions, even though this isn't a formal deposition. Now, one of the things you need to understand is the trustee is already working with Randy. The trustee has already hired Randy as special counsel. It's a done deal. It's already done. Randy works for the bankruptcy court for the trustee as of right now. Okay.
What's funny is they keep
the trustee
saying
and Randy,
that all of this is a lie, right? None of this is true. And yet at the same time, they cannot explain while many a thing happens in the courtroom, they can't look at some of the items that are going on and think, well, you know, again, it's full press damage control. They're to the point that they don't spin a thing. They spin everything. Like to me, that's amazing. Like again, think about the difference and that tells you how bad things are, because when you're spinning a thing, okay, well, you're panicked about one item, right? When you're spinning half a dozen things at once in one set in an hour of a live stream, you're spinning 6 things. You're having a problem.
I've already had prior conversations, even before Lynette and Saran Wrap came on the camera, which is 100% legal. It would be like Deanna and I having a conversation before I met with George. Deanna and I are going to have a conversation. Then we're going to have a conversation with all 3 of us. I'm the boss. Employee. Legal. And so it's already pre-planned. There's going to be some questions. Who wants to hit the questions? Because this is where it got out of control.
It did get spicy. It got very heated, and clearly Lynette gets extremely defensive.
So they say all this is a lie, and yet at the same time, they admit that all of this happened. Like make those make sense. So they say, yeah, they're lying about what, but when they answer them, they say, yes, Lynette got an attitude because again, she, like they just noted, they talked about the why and wherefore. They admit these things happen, but they're lies. That you can't have it both ways. You can't admit they happen and then say they're lies too. It is the most extraordinary thing I've ever. They're lying about everything. Well, except for this and that, but everything's a lie. It never tells the truth. Oh my God. All right, let's continue.
At a drop of a hat. Just answer yes, no. He was asking her yes, no questions or just simple questions where you can just give 1 to 3 word answers.
Yes. The very first question he asked was, have you previously filed bankruptcy? Simple question.
Yeah.
She roundabout said yes.
Well, she said years and years and years ago,
which they admit. Like,
which then he said, so that's a yes.
So through this too. Now you've seen Randy before. You've seen how he reacts to stuff, and they're like, Randy's losing his shit. He's freaking out. Can you imagine? Again, I work with Randy off of a case of my own, right? And one thing I cannot imagine is Randy, quote unquote, losing his shit. It doesn't happen. You know, he reacts to certain things like, oh my God, are there people there? You know, you can see like certain moments cut through the calm of what he's dealing with, like in that depot, because he can't believe the stupidity that he's dealing with. But losing his shit? Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
She said, yes. Okay, then what? Then he asked when.
When.
Okay.
Yeah. And she said over 30 years ago.
Over 30 years ago.
Is that accurate though? Because I thought she filed for bankruptcy here in Florida a little over 8 years ago. They admit that
was her answer.
I don't know about that.
We'll get to her answers. Why don't you hit the next one? Which what I wrote down is, did you have an attorney?
Yep, that's what I got.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you have, George?
Yep.
Okay.
She said over 30 years ago, but then when she answers, she just has this attitude and she shakes her head and rolls her eyes as she's answering. And she said, I believe I had legal aid. It was so long ago.
She said she couldn't remember.
Her brain doesn't work like that. Well, Randy wants to know where did you live then? And her answer was?
She believed it was Iowa.
That was a quote. I believe it was Iowa. How do you not know where you lived when you filed bankruptcy? That's kind of a life-altering thing there.
I can answer that.
Okay.
Because she hopped from state to state to state to state to country back to the U.S. and she has multiple names.
Yep.
That's why she can't remember.
Good answer. All right. And Randy,
I'm telling you, over
you
time,
have been through this.
Over time, like I said, we focus a lot on Jeremy, but over time, especially, I have come more and more to appreciate like George and George's approach, and the fact that she keeps quite the list of items. She, between her and Jeremy and the way that they document and stuff, these people are cooked, man. You can tell that she is a fact-forward person. And like I said, these people are cooked. I love it. I have gotten to where, again, at the beginning of everything, again, I appreciated them for their roles and everything else, but you get to appreciate the specifics about something. For myself, I am a fact-forward kind of person. I make jokes about stuff, but you can see I neurotically collect facts on items, because again, there's something that you're looking at, you want to prove a point. And after a certain, they want to showcase what happened. They want to keep up with line, and God, they picked the wrong people to fuck with here. That's the thing. Like George, Jeremy, everybody around him, they picked the wrong targets. if they were going to target somebody, they should have picked some people that weren't really like, you know, I mean, it gives you the idea of what they've targeted in the past, you know, what they've been able to get away with. But for them to be the smartest people in the room against those folks, really, it bothers me in a way too, because these folks right here, I mean, these guys, they're sharp. They, like I said, they picked the wrong fucking people to fight with. And I'm here for it. I enjoy it. I enjoy every day. I enjoy these people getting known, because the things, you know, Jeremy pays attention in his way. George pays attention her way. You combine that plus other people that are around them, and like I said, they cook. They do. They wreck these fools. Let's get
process before, and you need to provide complete and accurate information for the trustee and for the bankruptcy court.
Yep.
And he hammers down on this because everything is screwed up in their filings. They cannot get out of Chapter 7. Deuce locked them in Chapter 7. They are locked in for the long haul.
Yep.
It is not going away. There's nothing. She can't just go, oh, I'm done. I want out now. I don't want to do this anymore. It's in. It's locked in. She can't leave it. And so he's going, I don't
believe they thought that at first. I think they thought that they could lock in for a hot minute and then dip out, you know? They thought they could game that system, and they thought they could game Jeremy Hales with it. But the problem is, again, you know, they love to talk about here. I guess this is a statement I love. They always say how Randy's not smart, or he's not this, or he's not that. Well, if Randy's not that smart, he sure made you look like a fucking fool. What does that say about you? You know, because Randy most certainly approached this and was like, oh my God, you could just see it in filings. Actually, some of the things I measure Randy, because we don't have access to Randy here. I measure his reaction. If we don't have filings, I measure it through Jeremy's reactions, you know, because he has good legal counsel, and he's not telling you everything. He tells you enough that you can speculate on other parts of it. And if they're saying that, again, Randy's an idiot, my God, then what does that make these people? Because Lord, they have... I mean, they have burned Lynette's life to the ground. All she had to do was fuck off and shut up. She was even given a chance outside of when the protective order, after violations, she's still given a chance. All she had to do was stop. Damage done, sure. But after that, I mean, you know, it's done and over with. But instead, she's brought these people in. And I mean, what's she going to say? She doesn't control them. They're out of control now because they've admitted to being her PR. She's talked about how they were her voice. I mean, Lynette, did you forget that? Did you forget saying that they were your voice? Because I seem to remember that too. But anyway, let's go.
Accurate. You understand. Complete information. We got another phone call coming in from somewhere. It's nonstop. Just won't stop. Hot in Otter Creek this morning.
You can go get it.
All right. So Randy then asked, are there any errors or admissions in your filings? And she says, this is the funniest part. Who remembers what she said?
I'm sorry, I walked away.
Are there any errors or admissions in your bankruptcy filings?
She said she has no idea that you need to ask Saran Wrap.
Direct quote. Direct quote.
She didn't say Saran Wrap, but yes.
Yeah, so she's saying that, and again, she's telling people behind the scenes that she's filling out everything. So you think about that. I really don't think she understands the filings either. She said that nothing was being done and she was being forced to fill it out herself. She absolutely said some wild stuff about you, Jerome. She threw your ass under the bus real quick, my friend. And yeah, she threw him under, like Tina said too. She threw him and Bruce under the bus, talking about things like, again, the filing where they said, oh, John Cook, he has a medical appointment. Well, to make this clear, she didn't just say that they told her to file something like that. She said that they told her to file it last minute, because if it filed it last minute, then there was no way the judge or Randy or anyone else could do anything about it. And look how that turned out, man. What it did is piss off a judge, and the judge was more than happy to the judges have a memory, you know, they're not they don't have the memory of flies. You know, you just because you've gotten away with it with one court doesn't mean you'll get away with it with most judges. And they're the ones who told her to do it that way. Isn't that amazing? So she threw him under the bus. Either it's all true there, and Bruce and Jerome are coordinating together, or it's just somebody else she's thrown under the bus. But I mean, again, her writing was all over those filings. It definitely, I pointed it out that day. I was like, man, that's her writing. Remember we were talking about, I was like, that really is her writing. She totaled this stuff up. And yeah, apparently that's because she's writing it all. And Jerome, she doesn't know what she's doing. She said that. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. But if I don't do it, he's not doing it. Like, that's wild. Again, $6,000, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you know, you either have to say she's throwing another person under the bus, or, and again, ecosystemers, they were already pissed off about the $6,000. Shouldn't they be pissed off? Not only that, now it's been turned into a bankruptcy thing. They were pissed off about that, right? Well, shouldn't they be pissed off that they brought in an inept guy? This guy doesn't seem very good at it. I would be mad about that too, right? Cynic says, let's see this. Cynic said, I think the whole plan was to get Lisa to poison the trustee against Jeremy. When Randy didn't put her in to answer questions because Lisa doesn't know how the court system works, she sent that email. That's interesting. I think she's also afraid that they were going to talk about things without her. You know? That might be part of her little deal, you know, where she's tried to maintain control. Remember, we know that she paid for Ohio. So as part of paying for Ohio, one second, I gotta grab something. As far as paying for Ohio is concerned, if I faded for a minute, that was my fault. I stood up for a minute. I'm up here. I had to move everything in its mother. This new tower is a monster. Like, it's freaking huge. It's like 3 times the size of the old one. It's ridiculous. So I had to move everything, and I made a damn mess, an unsightly mess up here. So I'm cleaning off my desk while I don't have to control a lot right this moment, which is funny. I'm trying to clean while I'm live streaming. Hey, why not? But I wonder what the deal was, you know, because she's got to maintain control too. Yeah, she definitely wanted to poison. You are correct in that for sure. And she had promised she was going to poison the well. They would find out for sure. You know, she's going to find out when she's asked. But again, depending on what she says, there's Lynette Preston. I mean, again, there are video recordings of Lynette Preston stating that person stole money from her. So good luck trying to blame her again and say, hey, she owes me money. Good luck with that.
I'm so confused. How would she not know if there were any errors? Like, isn't she the final signer offer on the paperwork?
How would Saran Wrap know if there's any errors? It's not his life. It's hers. How would he know if she omitted anything? It's
honestly,
not
at the end of the day,
life.
Why does he care?
Hers. So, George, you said, hey, she would have signed off on it. And that was Randy's next question. Didn't you sign off on all this paperwork? And her answer was yes.
She said yes.
Yes. Do you understand there's consequences if it was inaccurate, you admitted anything? And believe it or not, she literally calls Randy sir. She goes, yes, I do, sir.
With an attitude. And so so she is aware that she signed this bankruptcy paperwork knowing that there's potential perjury. She could sign off with knowing signing off on paperwork.
A legal document.
Yes.
There are massive
There's consequences of
consequences in federal
perjury.
court.
And she
Now,
understands that.
She also understands that she is a pathological liar.
Mhm.
We have in recording, in writing, she was going to lie in the Levy County courthouse and state that Bruce was not writing her motions and her filings. We literally flew somebody from another state into Florida for testimony because we decided,
And they know
now was the right time. And we had
most
all the
definitely
information. We've been holding
had
it for
access to all that.
almost a year. You know, it's been a good long time. There's been a lot of people providing a lot of things, and it was finally time to play that card because Crook actually cut off communication with Tina and Lori, Lynette's best friends. He finally found out a couple weeks ago that she's been talking behind Crook's back to these individuals, and he cut it off. A little bit of control and manipulation there, I think. And so
I think she was throwing out a lifeline.
We really
I think with some of the
everything
stuff
we
she did this, she admittedly did it behind John Cook's back, you know, at first. All right. And then, well, was all conversation not, I don't know. Well, we'll come back to that subject another day. But at first, she admittedly states that she's doing this because John Cook can't find out. Because he's abusive, she said. And it is weird because as strange as this is, again, you know, I got that impression that she was afraid of him. Now, again, I'm not saying I believe her against somebody. I'm not accusing him of anything, but it was weird. She was definitely afraid of John Cook. And she definitely thought that he was working against her interests too. You could tell. But she seemed afraid of him. And I thought that was really interesting because, again, this is an ecosystem. You know, they've said that, you know, they're 100% behind her. But when she said that this guy is a terrible human being and, you know, he's verbally abusive, you know, he does all this and that, then they're 100%. Remember, they even did a hashtag about how save John Cook. Who did that? Isn't that interesting? I find it all. You know, again, I'm not a listening believer, but I did think it was, you know, a telling. She seemed afraid of him finding out. Now, again, I'm making no allegation when I say that, other than saying that she definitely was hiding it from him at first. Anyway, let's continue. I wonder, you know, they love her and everyone else there except for when she actually makes a claim that someone's dangerous. And then she's like, no, they're like, no, she's a liar. And that guy's okay. We should need to save him from her. Crazy, huh?
For all the court cases. And it was time to play that card in one court case, which will be played in another, which will be played in another and another. And so, boom, bombshells of Christmas. Tina comes forward. She has it all. Lynette states she's going to lie in court. And now she's not sure if she's lying on her bankruptcy paperwork.
Right.
I don't buy it. Don't buy it.
Well, don't forget, Lynette wrote to the courts explaining that Deuce may have ghostwritten some of the motions for her.
I mean, she's saying she wrote.
Even if Tina wasn't willing to come out and testify,
yeah. And I got
Lynette
a recording.
already told on herself.
She's a really good mole.
I've got the recording too, where she told on herself. Let's not forget that either. You know, I mean, she told me. So I have her words that you can utilize in whatever. So, I mean, again, when they would have come out, this would have been glorious. What would have happened is, if you think about this, they had all these tools at their disposal. So they would have gone in. If she would have shown up, she would have lied to the court. You would have had Tina come up. And if they would have called Tina a liar, then she would have been confronted with her own words. Wouldn't that have been fun?
She's the perfect mole.
She is the perfect mole.
Oh my goodness, you can't even make this stuff up.
You can't.
Randy
really
then transitions the conversation to dwelling on the property. He says, hey, what do you call that new place? Is that a fifth wheel? Is it a shed? What are you living in now? Is it a camper? She goes, yeah, a camper. And what did you have written down as far as
he asked her,
I have one question before that.
Oh, go for it.
Go ahead.
He asked her if she had transferred anything in the last 2 years.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Transferred anything in the title, name, anything, ownership. For example, flea market merchandise, which it's a Shell thing, but now it's a Harley thing.
Yeah.
Transferring things like that.
Yep.
It will all go back. It's all owned by Lynette, and it will all be seized.
Yeah.
The courts will reverse anything and everything, which she stated. What was her answer?
You don't lie to the Fed like this.
No. Okay. All right.
And then he asked her about the ownership on the camper.
All right. What's going on with the camper, George?
So as he's asking,
Look, the thing that kills me too is when I talk about this stuff, I don't root for the Fed either. I want to make that clear. I'm not, I don't want the Fed seizing people's stuff, but that is not what this is. That's not what this is at all. What this is a person, again, tried to ruin all of these people and more, all of their lives. If they ruin Jeremy Hale's life, they ruin everyone. The stress they put Jeremy under. God. Lynette Preston, it's amazing. Like, people offer you grace. You turned on your own donors in the ecosystem. So, I mean, these people got a taste of who she is. And now, like I said, 2L is to the point where she's trying to spin this stuff and saying, well, the reason that I'm still around is the child. The child, again, she wouldn't help out of a 10 by 15. And it's like, no, you think maybe you can control Annette because she has screwed you, folks. Oh, God, I love this stuff.
Because remember, the last time on January 9th, she admitted that they were living in a tiny shed, and she had changed her answer and said that she's now living in a camper.
Yep.
And you can hear John talking to her in the background at this point.
And
you see her eyes.
They tried to play. So in the ecosystem, they tried to, just like in the depot that they never watched, by the way, ever put it on there, never shown to their folks. But they say, oh no, she wasn't talking to anyone. In this 2L, they were saying, well, she was actually talking to, or he was talking to HG. Now, how would they know that? Because, they're not on the screen or anything. That brings up an interesting question too. Was that something you tried to do pre-plan as an excuse for coordination?
From doodling to looking up like this above the camera,
Yep,
looking
that's
at
what she does,
John,
man.
because he's talking to her in the camper.
Crook is literally, as Randy is asking questions, Crook is telling her what to say.
She's done it
so
before.
Randy goes, so you own half this camper? Crook goes, no. And she goes, I co-signed. So Randy calls it out immediately. There is somebody in the camper there.
And they tried to say that was
This
losing
is
her mind,
inappropriate.
by the way.
And then Linus goes, it's John. He's with the child. He's not here. He's in another room.
And you hear her attorneys just trying to tell her to stop. Talking.
Literally stop.
He turned red again.
He has no control.
No.
Oh my
Love
God.
it.
So she straight up lied and said,
Like I
that
said,
John
when's
was
the
talking.
last time, like with George, I've seen that with a lot. When's the last time you've seen like George just, at the verge of losing it so often? That this had to be one epic shit show. Oh, I just see it from the reaction right there. And freaking Deanna with her emotion and the way she shows it. It had to be amazing to see. God, to see that would be good.
To the child when he clearly was answering for her as Randy was asking her the question about their living.
And then Lynette goes off. She's like, I have a disabled daughter. You want me to put her outside? You mean in Florida, where it is 72 degrees right now, completely and totally beautiful, where every person in the north wants to be, where it's...
Well, they put her out. Remember, okay, so here's another point, Jeremy, if you hear this. I think this is a very good point to add to this. Remember in the Volpe interview, where she turns around and she tells John, go find Harley Grace? Because they don't know where she is. So during that, it's okay to put her outside and let her do whatever the fuck, right? But in this, they need an excuse to have all of the present. So now suddenly it's a problem. But it wasn't a problem. Again, when they want to do an interview, when they want to do all this other stuff, it's okay. It's only a problem when.
Child can run free and play.
Not in that yard.
Oh, good point.
Oh, that's true.
I forgot.
Good point.
I forgot about the yard, the dump. Yeah, kids should be outside playing, enjoying their childhood, not trapped.
I never
with
thought of this too.
freaks.
So if Jeremy seizes control of that place, has Jeremy taken a dump? It's terrible. Yuck. No, anyway.
And so she goes on with more attitude and says, no one is assisting me. Really? Because your body language says otherwise.
And it goes on and on. It goes on to Randy wants to know what was the down payment on the camper. And she goes, it was 1,000 or something. And Crook is literally whispering it again. No, no. Telling her not no, don't answer, no.
Well, you hear Crook saying no if he asked her, did you pay a portion of that $1,000 down payment? And he says no. You hear John say no.
Except Lynette has already posted, and the trustee literally already has the post.
Right.
I hope everybody understands. Every question asked of Lynette, the trustee already has the answer.
Randy's a lawyer. Look, this is the same thing. Remember when I told you that? So when we first talked about Lynette contacting me, we didn't show any information. We showed no proof of that. Now, like I said, the way we were doing that is we were doing it like a lawyer would, not like a journalist would. Why? Because you already know the answers to things. And that's what lawyers do. Lawyers already know the answer to questions. You know, they're not fishing for, they may be trying to get more information, but typically what they're trying to do is showcase that, you know, you're a liar in this situation. They're showing you for who you are. So they already know.
Posting, I'm using this as a down payment for the camper. I'm using this. I have this much money. I'm using this. She posted it all. The trustee has it. The trustee knows the answers. They're going after her for perjury. They're going after her for fraudulent. They're going after. They know everything, and she's still lying through her tooth. And Fleesa is on here as a fraudulent creditor now, listening to it all. I'm shocked she didn't go live immediately. She might have already
He talked about it. She actually, so she said that
she's now going to be pursued.
She was like, I was going to do it. I was going to do it if Jeremy put out anything, you know. What she wanted to do, I'm going to tell you what the real plan was. What she wanted was Jeremy to mention this. So then she could come out and brag about, yes, I'm a genius. Me and this lawyer, we plotted together to do it, which was the dumbest thing to admit, by the way. But she wanted to come out and brag about how smart she was and how good this stuff was and how great of a job she did. And, you know, and she wanted more people to be able to watch. And the only way she knew she would get eyes is if Jeremy talked about it first. So that's really why she didn't break that news, because honestly, let's be real about this. People don't give a shit about her unless she's in the context of this case. They don't. They'll tell her they do. They'll be like, oh, we'll love you, watch you forever. But they don't. You notice they don't. So, I mean, that's the way it works.
In the federal courts. Smart move there, fatty.
Exactly.
This was my favorite lie.
All right.
Because you hear John say, no, like so clearly. And so Randy says something again, and she said, that John was disciplining the child and was telling the child, no,
don't do that to the tablet.
Don't do that to the tablet. Or she was doing something to the tablet. But she had previously said that they were in the other room.
Right.
So how does she know what the no is about if they're not in the room?
That's
and
a good
how is the no
point.
so clear if they're in
But you know,
another room, even if it is a
the
camper?
flea doesn't bring this up
So
too.
Lynette's
The flea skips over portions like that, the things that point out the lie or the hypocrisy. You know, they bring it up. Oh yeah, John was in the room and Randy's losing his mind. They forget to bring up the idea that, you know, she's supposed to be in another room, which she said. She actually did say that, and yet Lynette is commenting on their actions. So how does that work?
Off the wall again,
Perjuring herself.
completely unhinged. And Saran Wrap is going, Michelle, to the point where the trustee says, you know, sometimes it's just better to have somebody else speak for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So then the trustee steps in, and because she could feel the spiciness coming from the debtor.
And the trustee has been very spicy, giving it back to Lynette in the previous meetings. Today, actually, the trustee was really laid back, probably in the holiday spirit. She was just like, you know what? I know where this is going anyway. Lynette just perjured herself again. I see this is going on. It's all going the direction the trustee knows where it's going.
The trustee could hear the no too.
Welcome to
It's
Piggly
not like
Wiggly.
she can't hear what everybody else on the call is hearing.
I love that you can hear me
Trustee
now when I'm watching.
literally
Yeah,
says,
the old
"You know
setup
what?
would not let you hear me. Very
Maybe
well."
this is going to be better for a full deposition." And Randy goes, you know what? We're going to do the full deposition.
tower
Which
giving
there
out.
is. There's going to be a full deposition in bankruptcy. And it will be a 100% all day in person in Levy County. And the only other person that'll be allowed in that room, myself, the creditor, Randy, and then you will have Saran Wrap. No crook, no child hearing any of this.
That's a
garbage.
problem for them right there. So all the coaching and shit, they're not going to be able to do that. She is going to have to answer questions in a setting that she's not. You know, one of the things that benefits the Fats too is there's no recording of everything there. So when they sit around and they lie about it, you can't pull up a recording. See, this is what the people, Don, you notice they lied to you about Gabe and what he said. Now, you think about that. You caught that because there was a recording, right? You saw it yourself. Now, you track that back and you look at all the things like that meeting that was that was between Judge Grabe and Lynette and everything. All the lies that were in that they told, and then there ended up being a recording. It was like, wait a minute, and it caught them in so many. And you've got to ask yourself again, if they lie about shit like that, when do they tell the truth? You would think at some point, when you notice the lie, that's got to chip away at your confidence. It does.
Saran Wrap coming up from Miami. I mean, he only got paid $6,000, and I bet those hours are racking up like crazy. Who's gonna pay his travel? You think Fleesa? You think Fleesa's gonna release some more money because she knows Lynette's coming after her for the stolen money? I mean, she's already committed fraud felonies. She's now just committed another one as a fraudulent creditor in a bankruptcy case in federal court.
Yeah, maybe.
Lynette herself has stated that she wants to see Fleesa behind bars.
Oh, yeah. Fleesa's doing a pretty good job of ensuring that happens. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And so Randy emphasizes, we're going to have a full deposition. It will be all day. It will be in the Levy County courthouse. And the only other person that will be allowed with Lynette is her attorney, Saran Wrap.
Yes.
Because of all of this going, all the explosions, all the Lynette being Lynette.
Yeah, the trustee is fully aware that the debtor, Lynette, needs to be away from the child, away from John, away from having anybody whispering and assisting her with answering.
That's what her attorney's for, her bankruptcy attorney.
So
is that what he's for? I
already know.
I didn't know he was for anything. He's so useless.
Because when we were in Ohio court for our hearing, Fleesa went live immediately after. As a matter of fact, Fleesa was putting in time, in real time community post of what was going on. She was in the hearing, listening to the hearing.
Well, what's funny, she was like, there's the Zoom records that will disprove that. Nobody said you signed in. You know, again, you were giving, it even makes it worse where she's like, legitly, she wasn't there. So how are you getting real-time updates? Well, somebody was feeding it. Well, it couldn't have been John and it couldn't have been Michelle because they were reportedly on camera the whole time, which would make sense, right? So what were you doing? You were listening in. You were on a phone call, more than likely. Huh? Makes sense. Bueller?
With Crook and Lynette, probably on another device, when that is 100% illegal, which we are pursuing in Ohio court, 100%. And she literally even goes live and states such things. So Ohio court is dealing with that right now.
Yeah, she's stated some crazy stuff on that. It's been weird to watch her bounce back and
this
forth.
fat flea just inserts herself. She is, I cannot stress this enough, she's going to jail. Now, you pick which thing's going to get her there, but she is 100%. And what a glorious day. What a glorious day that will be for all insects and bugs not to have a flea biting at their ankles anymore. Oh boy. So I have to bring it up to the trustee. Hey, there's a pending issue right now in Ohio courts being dealt with the Ohio court, with Fleesa being in the courts illegally. And I have no doubt whatsoever, Fleesa is actually recording right now illegally. You are not allowed to record these sessions, which then the trustee says what, George?
So the trustee says that Lisa Lee is not allowed to record this meeting. Only she, the trustee, is allowed to record this meeting. And then Lynette jumps in and she goes, I am not a part of any illegal anything with Lisa Lee. Hales has been stalking me for 3 years.
Pause right there. I'm not a part of anything legal with Lisa Lee, and yet
illegal.
So Fleesa is in the bankruptcy hearing. She's obviously a part of something with Lynette.
Right.
Oh, wait. Fraudulent creditor.
Yeah, why exactly?
And
I mean, that
just-
is a question. Like, what is she part of then? Because she is there. Well, what is she part of? Man, I'm gonna go for another probably 5 minutes. We'll get as close to it, but I've got to read super chats too.
Literally proved it to the trustee. You can't.
I got myself plenty of time
All right,
today.
keep going on.
So then she talks about how Mr. Hales is the one who's been stalking me for 3 years. But isn't that interesting? If you've been stalking her for 3 years, you're listed as one of her creditors. You're the one who has a civil stalking protective order on her. I'm one of the protected parties on that civil stalking protective order. She owes you money from being found guilty twice now in the Ohio courts. But you're the one stalking her. Isn't that interesting?
I'm not sure. Did I move from Ohio to Northport to be across the street from Lynette and Crook? No. As a matter of fact, I bought property in Otter Creek. Lynette watched it every single day. Told Jamie, look at this. This is my new neighbors. I'm going to go move there. There's a strategy.
Indeed.
Oh, that's right. She moved from Northport to Otter Creek to be next to us.
To a famous YouTuber, right? But don't you find it interesting that she told the Ohio judge that she's had her turtle rescue for 10 years, but all of a sudden decided to launch the 501c3 as soon as she moved across the street from a famous YouTuber? Don't you also find it interesting that she keeps claiming she's been looking at that property since 2018 when it went up for tax sale for way cheaper than what she paid for? $3,000, $4,000, maybe $5,000, $6,000, but was willing to pay over $22,000 when the famous YouTuber moved there across the street.
That's weird, isn't it?
2018 for $3,000. Why'd she wait until we were there and spend over $20,000 on it?
Right. Exactly. That is a good point.
It's a little
For the same
interesting.
reason she's filing bankruptcy.
She'd be dumb.
So who's stalking who? Who's stalking who? With no money to build and do whatever it is that she wanted to do with that property. So then the trustee immediately said that would be a federal crime.
So anybody hears anything, sees anything from Fleesa in regards to this, make sure you get it to us.
Oh yeah,
and we will make sure.
And we got a big one from her, didn't we?
Get it so that we can pursue federal charges, which is already going to under the aspect of
Miyagi did a great video on that, by the way.
Fraudulent.
Let me give Miyagi a shout out on this. If you really want to see what happened with that, like I said, Miyagi did a great video showcasing what was said, how it came up. You decide on it. I wanted to show you this video here because their deflection was actually Gabe was talking about Deanna. No. Now Deanna is calm. Yes. Okay. Deanna was probably calm wherever. I'm sure she's calm wherever, but they weren't talking about Deanna in that moment in the live stream. Again, remember, they also said Gabe doesn't know what he's doing. He's high all the time. That's why he would say that. That's their excuses. So anyway, I'm going to hit super chats here because we have a time limit that does come up. Again, I love covering, but we are going to run. We've got a few more. Well, shit. Let's just let them run here. Let's do them quick, and then we'll do it. No, I hate not finishing something. I hate it.
It's already happening. It's literally happening right now. We just had to take multiple phone calls.
It will bother me for weeks.
So if Fleesa Flea did, in fact, record today's creditors meeting.
Oh, it sounds like she did.
Federal crime for her to record.
And she admitted she wasn't supposed to.
You think she's going to dirty delete it? Or archive it somewhere?
No, she admittedly, again, according to Gabe, she showed the trustee.
And
so
I can't wait.
Hope the trustee enjoys that.
Can't wait. So Saran Wrap is literally trying to get Lynette under control again and going, Michelle, let her talk. Michelle, let her talk.
Michelle.
You cannot control. Now, as we're explaining all this, I don't think we're being visual enough, animated enough, evil enough, because Lynette is out of control, literally out of control. She cannot handle questions from Randy. And I want to make this extremely clear. You want to know really why Fleesa
I think
is in the bankruptcy
here's a
hearing
little,
right
I'll
now?
tell you this.
She is terrified. She is absolutely terrified of what's coming.
Oh yeah,
because she knows she's guilty of what she's done.
Yeah,
that's why she's there.
Fear and guilt.
Yep,
it's so obvious. So that's when the trustee says, you know what, sometimes it's best. When Saran Wrap finally gets her to stop talking, Lynette, she said sometimes it's best to have someone speak on your behalf, meaning you have an attorney, let him speak on your behalf.
Right.
So it transitions into the trustee saying, I'm not filing a continuance. We're going to keep moving forward. There's going to be a deposition. And when's our next date? And Saran Wrap and Randy both say, well, I think there's a January, is it January 6th? We have a date for.
There's a hearing the 6th.
There's a hearing with the judge, with the federal judge, which now we get to add the whole aspect of Fleesa being a fraudulent creditor. So this is going to be a ton of fun.
So January 6th is scheduled in front of the judge to have an evidentiary hearing, because the last one was a non-evidentiary hearing.
Ooh, and Lynette better have some evidence that somehow, some way, Fleesa is a creditor, because tick, tick, boom.
Yeah, for real.
Tick tock, goony goo,
tick tock,
goony goo,
goony goo goo, goony goo goo. All right. So
the trustee does mention that she has the registration on the Jeep, but not the camper.
The 2022 Dutchman.
But what I thought was funny was that attorney Ramsaran said he didn't know it was a Dutchman. He didn't know.
So Lynette doesn't know if everything's accurate and if she admitted anything, but somehow Saran Wrap's supposed to know everything, and he doesn't even know what the kind of camper it is.
That's funny.
We'll figure that one out. It ends. They're getting together with dates. When are they going to do another creditors meeting? It'll be after the deposition. It will be a full day in the courthouse. And at the end, you see this yet again, because we stay to see what dumb thing they're going to do. And this is going on. And Lynette's going, I can't close it.
But she's got rings on her fingers too. Don't forget while she's doing that. But she didn't list those rings on her bankruptcy.
Definitely not in the bankruptcy.
So here's a funny thing. So 2L also said on this that Jeremy, he talked about that for 40 minutes. So over that subject, they've done over 6 hours of live streaming. But Jeremy, how dare he talk about it for 40 minutes? It was pretty concise, I thought. They were like, he made it stretched out. They told you all about what was there, gave you opinions on it. I thought it was good. I thought it was laid out. By the way, I think sometimes that's why Megan cuts off videos because it'll drive me nuts. All right, let's do this. These spills of tea. Thank you for the find there. Check email. Responded. Check that out. And I've got to respond to something else, too. Check that too. Max Lab. Thanks for the two. Hey, Tuck. Just got in for my trip. Well, you got a lot to catch up, my friend, because it has been a wild time, man. It has been a wild time. I haven't even looked for any documents or any weirdness that's popped on anything else because so much other stuff has been popping off. The British Crypt Keeper, thanks for the two. Hey, Tug. Hey, I like that. Your zombie. I like that zombie Muppet. It's sexy. I love zombie. They've done right. I love zombies. I hated when they went mainstream, but God, man. By the way, I re-listened to World War Z pretty recently, not to be confused with that movie that came up. World War Z, if you've never checked it out, it's like it's written like a real history book of a zombie war, and it is pretty freaking good. Not to be, the movie's fine. I mean, it's okay for what it is, but it's just a, fast-paced zombie movie. I like it fine, but it is not that book. That book is amazing. Thanks for 11 months there. Only 2 things. Almost as good as being with Tug, huh? Belonging to Fox 10 and what the else. Indeed. Being out there along with everyone. And thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting. Appreciate you. I know. Thank you for the 2 months there. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. That's right. Ring that bell. Ring that bell indeed. Jingly bell, ring that bell indeed. Let's do this. Thank you for the 2. Again, every time I read it, I don't know why my mind just wants to cut off it. Instead of Juliet, it wants to go to Justice, and I don't know why. I love that picture. That's cute. Love it. I'm here. I'm glad you are here. Now we can thoroughly. I'm glad we, I gave everybody a chance to get in also, and I thought it was a good one. Again, I wonder what we'll find out with lips. I'm curious about all of that. We'll see. Yancy, thanks for the super chat there. They are in a big mess. Let's hope they pay. Well, some of them will, for sure. Some of them will. Now, I don't know if I can't speak for Fed 2. I don't know what'll happen with it. But I do know that no matter what, Lynette Preston is cooked. There is no way. And not John cooked, but cooked. Oh, and what's up, Annie? Dropped that super sticker. Thank you. The little one will love it. I got to cut that out there. Thank you. Laura B, thanks for the 6 there. Robert is suing you because you replaced him with a new. Oh no. Victoria, thanks for the 10 there. Great sound. So you all like the sound quality here now? I think it's done a good job of removing a lot of there was too much background bleed, and I think it sounds so much better now. The kid too, I think it comes through so much better. William, thanks for the 2. Happy New Year. Indeed, we are right there. We'll have it very, very soon. What's up, kiddo? Hey, you want me to charge that for you? Here.
Yeah.
Are you going to clean now?
What do you think it is? Daytime?
Yeah, well, it's still time. You have time to clean. You want to clean? Are you still having a lazy day?
Yeah, because they do it for me.
Oh, it
if you
goes through
have
the
a half lazy day, it's full lazy day.
Oh, okay. So if it's a lazy day,
Because if you have a half lazy day, it can be a full lazy day.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, go enjoy your lazy day.
Yeah, because that's actually true. Because if you have a half lazy day, there's a full lazy day.
Oh, okay. It has to, if it's over half of it. So if it's over 50% or half, it has to be a whole lazy day. Okay. Yeah. We'll go enjoy it.
If it's not a lazy day and you say it's a work day, it's a whole work day.
Okay. Well, go. You better go enjoy it. I ain't shut my door, and I love you.
Love you.
You love that. Sound good today. Thank you. I think this new setup will add a lot better. I think it matters. Cynic, Thanks for the 5 there. Like Marla, I used to have mobility issues too, but then I got AT&T protected. Yeah, and now I get 5G even on hiking trails. No more dead zones for me. Yeah, I would like to know about Marla and her fishing spots. Like I said, that is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. How are you locked up in your home? You can't do anything, and yet Jeremy Hale stole your favorite fishing spot. How does that work? I don't understand. And again, I'm not taking shots at people with mobility issues. I realize plenty of people have those problems. Man, I have a disability of my own that I deal with, Plus I've been dealing with health issues. I mean, I get it, But for Marla, again, Marla's just an absolute snaky piece of garbage. So, and wrong on God knows how many things. She's okay with targeting deceased kids though. And she loves to target those Mexicans, She likes to talk about how she'll ship them off to Alligator Alley and stuff. So, Andre, thank you again. Caught that before, but appreciate you as well again. And Spirit Walker, thank you again. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you too, Cynic, for pointing that out. Sure. I'm curious though, if when you've looked through, like, did you notice that one common thing? I'm sure you did. If you don't, let me know and I'll mention it to you. But I'm sure you did, Write me if you didn't for some reason. Monica, thanks for the 20. Everyone is okay. We are back on the roads. The flying tire hit the front of the car, setting off airbags. Man, that's scary though. Ran it over, flattening the driver tire. Stop paddling sideways so me as well. That's scary. That is terrifying. I'm glad you are okay, because that is a terrifying situation. It is. So love to you there. I'm glad you all are safe. Green veggies, thanks for the vibe. Is bug biting tongue to get more bugs? Yeah, she actually, it'd be more like the oldest is more about getting more insects and bugs. The littlest, she's she likes them. It depends on what they are. She likes to see them. She's not afraid of like the manises or anything either. She likes them. I get them out and let them run around on my hands and stuff, because they're funny. Little praying mantises are funny. I finally got them to eat. It took me forever to get them to eat. I had to, they were being so picky. Like they ate a mealworm at first, but then they were like, no more mealworms. Don't want that. They tried to catch a cricket, but it was hard. So they just gave up. They're like, not doing that. Now, I couldn't get them out. I was like, man, I'm worried about them. So I read that you can reward them every now and then with honey, as long as it's raw, because they will raid bees' nests, That's one thing they do in the wild. So I diluted a bunch of honey and put it on a Q-tip, and they like it. They definitely like it. But I was looking for them food because they're not eating. Finally, I went through different flies. Finally, I found fruit flies. They will eat fruit flies. So when I put some fruit flies in there, they went to town. There was like, fruit flies are a pain in the butt, by the way, to get into a container. Not fun. Fallen Hero, by the way, thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you, Fallen Hero, and thank you again for being here, my friend. Man, we're rolling into a new year, too. Isn't it crazy? Shelly, thank you for the 2 months there. There's not a statement, 2 months. It is a statement. Thank you for your support. Appreciate you. Leg warmer lady. What a name. I love it. That's beautiful. Thank you for the super sticker and the entertaining name. I love it. Selena, what's that? Thanks to the fund. My first super chat ever. Heck yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to start milestoning too. You know what we need to do, actually? I was going to do it at dance, but this is what we need. Yeah. Oh, come on in, kids. Yay. I love it. Thank you there. Appreciate it. Joe, thank you for that super sticker there. Thank you very much. Like I said, kids love them. I love them. I love to see them pop up, but the kids love seeing them. So thank you. Some beach somewhere. Thanks for the 5 butthurt bucks. Indeed. That works. Just Jay. Yep. Thanks for the 20. I know you were trying to stream over me with a simple test stream. I was covering serious stuff. My goodness. Can't shake the guy. LOL. Much love, folks. Indeed. It's funny. I did write Jay though, and actually, I was like, "Yo, dude," I didn't know that he had joked about about getting streamed over. Actually, which is the funny thing. I had no idea he had joked about it or anything. But somebody said he was live, and I really try not to stream over people. Like, you can't help it. Some holidays, are their own thing. Like, again, when the holidays come up, I think it has its own chaos. And weekends typically, but I know Jay's had, when he's had stuff going on, he shifted his days. So usually he goes well away from when I'm streaming. So I really do. I try, it's bad etiquette. In fact, it's something you do to tell people. The reason I'll write and tell somebody, hey, I didn't do that on purpose to you, my apologies, is because to me, if you do that to me intentionally, that is a giant F you, because you're trying to cut into something. People do that. They're petty. I've met many people that will do that stuff. They'll stream on you on purpose. So when I write somebody, I try not to do it. If I end up doing it, I can't keep, YouTube won't always tell me who's live either. But that was funny. I didn't even know Jay had talked about it until then. AKA the cat lady said, hey, the only way to stop this is suing for defamation. They know all of you as abusers of HG. If you all did it together, it would be glorious. Yeah. The only thing, like I said, that sucks is these people have nothing. You know how much money you have to spend to sue, and that's the kicker with it. I do think, though, I think Lynette Preston, like I said, these are her PR team. And I think informing her that doing that, especially, again, after reaching out to myself, and when you reach out to me, you're reaching out also to Megan Fox, and you're legitimizing this with everyone out there too. You're legitimizing it with every journalist. You're saying, okay, all these people are covering. So you can't then say that people are harassers of anything. See, that's why the Fats are so desperate to spin that Lynette Preston wouldn't talk to any of us. That's why they spin it so bad. Because one thing, she admitted she wants her in jail. And it's hard to explain why, if they're trying to help out somebody that tried to put them in jail. Again, they said that she was worse than Jeremy Hales at one time. Their words. And you know what they say about Jeremy Hales. So for them to try to do anything for her, that tells you something weird is going on. But to do that too. So yeah, I think Lynette Preston is I think she might be due for somebody to write her a wonderfully crafted letter. Lorraine, thanks for the 5. You made today's music video dancing with just for me. You know how much I love it. Well, indeed, I have got to check that out. Thank you. That'd be fun. Thank you. Spirit Walker, thanks for the 10 there for Bugs, big sister, alien killer. Indeed. She's been so funny. She is. The oldest. She is such a crack up. She says some of the craziest things sometimes. I mean, she cracks me up sometimes. She's been laughing at me because I've been on it takes a long time to go through the show Supernatural, right? There's 327 episodes or something. That's a lot of episodes of a show. So I'm in season 9 now. There's 15 seasons. I'm in season 9, about in the middle. She's like, you've been watching this show for like a year, Dad. What's going on? That was funny, like listening to her laugh about it. She's like, what in the world? Was maybe June. Thank you for the month there. Replay crew still behind. Is just me, or is lips no longer listed as faculty? Yes, I get the feeling that she is no longer there. That is my guess. Again, I cannot say that for certain, but I'm going to say that she is no longer there. I feel pretty confident with it. I'm going to say that they probably, this is going to be my guess again. Typically, a place will allow you to, they won't fire you or something. They'll allow you to remove yourself, and for whatever reason. You know, she stepped us on. I mean, again, I don't know, but she's not listed there anymore. And all of that stuff, again, she said some crazy stuff, but Lisa made it so insane that holy God. Then they got together and said crazy stuff. I wonder, like I said, with Libs, she's got to look at this stuff and be like, yo, these people are not, it would be one thing if they were all standing with solidarity, helping her out and stuff, but they didn't. They absolutely didn't. When she was useful, they use her. But when she's not, when she's acting off the freaking wall and stuff, what do? They try to burn her to the ground. They made statements. We'll cover it tomorrow. I'm going to pull it all up. But they made statements that I take as threats. They're like, we know we have folders on you too, Lips. That's what she said. I was like, holy crap, man. Holy crap. Oh, Lord. Hey, I gotta do something real fast. It's just, I gotta mess it. But wait, let's see that, times in stream. Give me a second. I'm posting this where somebody will get it to someone else. I want that to get out there. Jack's mom, thanks for the tear. I could hear the woe is me from her. Indeed. That's true. Indeed. I hear you. Jack's mom too. Thank you for the gifted membership there. Thank you for that as well. Appreciate that. Just Jay, thanks for the 5 there. I have faith in Lisa. I can't Jay's voice. It's about, I was doing a voice that was halfway between Fleece, the VADs. I wasn't going on. I have faith in, I can't do your voice, man. Do you have a link to send your money? Like I said, I do. I've got one it goes to PayPal. Now, for some reason, she collects money under that umbrella guy. I'm not really sure why, but if you want to send that one out there. I love it. It's so funny. Lindy, thanks for the super sticker there too. Thank you again. Like I said, I've said it many times, but I love super stickers because the kids love super stickers and they give me something to clip for them and be like, look what, look what they sent you. And they're like, oh, that's so cute. You can hear the little one. Her thing is she's like, oh, that's so cute. You can hear her. That's adorable. And she's cute when she says stuff like that. Give me a minute. I'm looking. What in the world? Here we go. That was weird. For a minute there, my live stream clocked. You can tell when YouTube is being weird because it was like, you have 2,000 views on this. And I was like, I ain't got 2,000. I got 2,000 viewers, not views, you piece of crap. So I was trying to force it to catch up. Let's see. What the hell is put up there? Come on. There we go. The 13th bombshell. Ooh, that looks sexy. I like that. Hey, did y'all like the thumbnail today, by the way? That was a great thumbnail, wasn't it? Thank you, by the way, Lindy. I love that avatar too. It's very cute. Something to bark about. What's up? And again, people, check out Something to Bark About. I enjoy that. I've showed it to the kids and everything. It's a nice, not this mess. It's just something that's nice to cover. Thank you for 5 gifted memberships, but check them out for sure. Hey, baby.
You know what?
Oh, so you did come back to clean? That's awesome. I've got some stuff that's a mess around here. Are you going to clean it up for me?
Dad, when you say so, when you say it's a lazy day, it's a full lazy day because if you say half, then it's full. You know why? Because you said it was a lazy.
Oh, because I said it's a lazy day, not a lazy half a day. Is that what you're saying? I gotcha. I use the word day, so it really got me there, right? Yeah. Look at this little lawyer. Hey, why don't you use for this? It's at 13%, but why don't you use the plug that's in the bedroom upstairs? You know, by the, you know, in the main bedroom up there. Yeah, you can go check it out. Yeah, why don't you use that one? That way you can play that if you want to, and you can put on your show too that you're enjoying. Like I said, it's a lazy day, so you can go enjoy it to its fullest. Love you, kiddo. All right, close my door. She had to come back and lawyer me in there. Did you like that one? I love it. She was like, well, you did say lazy day, not lazy half a day. Like, yeah, you're true. That's true. Abby, thanks for the form. Felisa, a creditor, as she paid for the lawyer. Yeah, actually, she's not claiming that, though. Funny enough, she's claiming that she was a creditor from Go. She was one of the first creditors because of the what they tried to say. Again, you could see them try to create this narrative real time, and it's the dumbest narrative ever. They were creditors first. Therefore, Jeremy can't take the property or anything because really they have to get paid first. And it's like, no, that ain't going to work. You know, in fact, you trying to use fundraisers, there's an opposite. You know, there are creditors, and then there's this thing as the opposite of a creditor. You know, when somebody's holding money for you and you're denying it to and pretending. Again, what's funny is even with the words of Felisa and the words of Preston, they admit that there is money that is Lynette Preston's. They admit now they did, you know, again, they play the game of $17,000 or $18,000, but that's an admission that they have her money. So, whoopsie. So when they play this whole, it's for this or it's for that, it doesn't fucking matter what it's for. It's money that's not reported, and they never planned on reporting. So they're in trouble, and I love it. And yeah, they may try to play that, Abby. Who knows? But it won't work either. Because again, you know, what are they subtracting it against? And I mean, again, all she really wanted to do, she came out. Unfortunately, what she did is she told you the entire story about how her, Saran Wrap, and all them, they got together right before anything happened, right before 10 minutes before they came up with a reason to get her in there. They brought her in as a quote unquote potential creditor, which is garbage because why is she there? Oh, because you know, they want to, I think they want to keep Lynette. They know that she stepped out. They want to keep her in check too. I really think that part of it is, in fact, maybe even part of it is to make Lynette afraid. She won't speak to people like myself if she knows she's watched all the time, right? So that's what they're doing now. They're going to be part of everything. So if she tries to get a lifeline or something and tries to sell one of them out, they'll be right there and they'll be able to bury her. I think that might be part of it too. Again, we'll see. You know, Jack's mom, thanks for saying, not nosy, but let's add more cameras. Indeed, 2 more cameras for Turtle Purgatory. Isn't that weird? And, you know, for a while, they tried to claim that they had control of their cameras and Felisa didn't. But at the same time, they were claiming that they were her cameras. And now they're adding more cameras so they can spy, knowing that, again, these people have been given direct access. They've proven it. So they just added more so they can try to spy on Jeremy Hales more. I mean, again, what that looks like is it looks like them upgrading harassment. So, oh my God. It's like they're making Jeremy Hales point in court for him. You know, oh, well, they added more cameras because apparently they couldn't catch enough harassment when they put up, they couldn't hear exactly what they wanted to sell the world that I was a monster. So they tried it again. Weird, huh? Shelby, what's up? Thanks for the vibe. I bet 2L is trying to charge LP for PR service. That would be hilarious. Which thanks makes her the creditor. Oh my God, let's post that real fast, right? Wait, yeah, let's post this. You know, let's ask that publicly. Let's see, Lisa. Are you trying to charge Preston Preston, for your PR services? Is that why you were in the bankruptcy? Because anti-Hales provably took 6 figures or 6 figures of LP's money. Actually, you know, it's a better question. I think this is a better question here. Lisa, are you trying to charge Preston for a magic act? For a magic act where you made her 6 figures disappear? Disappear. I want to put that first. Is that why you're in the bankruptcy? I mean, it's crazy, right? Is that why you're there? Because anti-Hales provably took 6 figures of LP's money and poof. And poof, nothing. Or is it for your your PR services? Inquiring minds want to know. Oh my God, that's really funny though. I like that. I mean, seriously, God, she's like David Copperfield level, making that much money disappear. That's a good one though, Shelby. We'll talk. I like that. That's really fun. That would be really funny if she did. She's like, well, I admittedly was her PR, so that would make sense, actually. Leg warmer lady, thank you for the for the $2 super sticker. I read that and then it registered again. Leg warmer lady. Oh, that's so funny. That is so good. I love it. Andre, thanks for the 2 there. I think they all got caught with their pants down. God, the mental terrible image. No. Gross. Yes, though they really had some problems, haven't they? Razilla, thanks for the 16 months. How do you make a saran wrap, man? Line the toilet bowl with it. Indeed, or the blue bucket. You could line the blue bucket could also be lined with it, right? Intimidator, what's up, man? It is good to see you, my friend. Intimidator, brother. You've been like Intimidator. God, you've been around since Lord 2019, 2018, right in 2019. Yeah, that's good because of that case. I appreciate you, brother. Merry belated Christmas. Hope you and your family had a great time. By the way, do you know what a turkey shouldn't say out loud at Thanksgiving? I'm stuffed. Indeed. That's true. That's a good dad joke. I like that. I love dad jokes there. Cynic, thanks for the 10. I think the whole plan was to get Lisa in to poison the trustee's journey. When Randy didn't put her in to answer questions because Lisa doesn't know how court works, then she sent that letter or that email. I think that is a very interesting theory and may well be true. Fun times, right? I can't wait till the damage control, man. I love watching the damage control. When Jeremy goes live tonight, it's going to be fun. He'll be live in again about 18 minutes. And when he goes live, it will be very entertaining because it will make these people crazy. They say all kinds of stupid stuff and they screw themselves every time. And it's amazing. Like right now, they're afraid the shoe's going to drop. And God, I mean, they're telling you that they're going to go after lips. I kind of love it. I kind of love the fact, again, not that they're coming after you, lips. It's the fact that they're just straight up admitting that they plan on coming after you. They're saying that they got shit on you. It's so wild. And thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for that membership. And welcome to Tug's Thugs. Thank you for that. appreciate you, and I love to say that. I don't get to say it enough. So thank you. I love it. Jaguar, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. 5 gifted memberships. I love it. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for that, for supporting the channel, and for helping people out and hooking them up too. Thank you. Melissa, thanks for the 2. Good luck tomorrow, Tuck. Early appointments suck. Yes, actually in 2 days, Tuesday. So there, it may be Monday, or I don't know y'all's time schedule. Right now it's Sunday for me. So tomorrow, which is typically Megan Day, we will be here. I'm not sure. Megan's had some stuff going on, so we're adjusting for both of us there. So I'll be Monday, Wednesday, and she'll be Tuesday, Thursday, you know. So just to note that, and you know, make that clear for people too. But thank you. I appreciate it. And yes, that is an early one. Not only is it early, the one good thing though is they're like, oh, you know, you can't take your medication. And luckily, right now, see, they kill me with that. This stuff that I'm taking currently with the blood pressure and stuff, it builds up in my system, thankfully. Because if it didn't, the old stuff, if they told me not to take it, I mean, that caused me real problems. But this builds up in my system for a couple of days, actually for more than a couple of days, but it takes a little while to get it out of there. So it still works enough to help out. I can miss a day and it not just totally screw me up. But with them being like, we need to get an accurate, I'm like, yeah, you know, when I can't walk or, you know, do anything else, that's not really it's not really a good trade-off, you know, but I'm glad with the other. What's up? What's up? No, I said, Lola? Is that right? I see the LOL. That's what my mind goes to. Yeah. Thanks for the year there. It's amazing. Thank you for the great coverage of all these cases you cover, especially what the hell. Well, I appreciate that. Yes, this has been a wild case to cover. But it's also been, you know, again, it's ran me into some really good people. I've gotten to the point where I really like the people that we're talking about. You know, typically, like I said, I don't go as far as to concern myself with the mental well-being of the people we cover, because typically, you know, you're talking about celebrities and other things, and they have people around them to do that. Hales, though, it's just some dude. Jeremy, George, they're just people, you know, they're just regular people out there trying to do their best. And these people, again, you know, so I've gotten to the point where I like them, you know, but all of that, it hinges on the fact that they're correct in this thing. If I liked them and they, you know, here would be the thing. I wouldn't like them if this were made up, you know, that people would be like, well, if they were lying, would you still, you know, what would, if they were lying from go, I wouldn't have ever liked them because, you know, I would have found that. But what I found were these people that work hard and they have suffered immensely. You know, Jeremy Hale's business is really, really taking a hit. So again, you folks, support them in their endeavors. They are paying a lot of money and they are fighting a fight which doesn't just impact them. It impacts a lot of people. It could potentially impact someone like yourself. You could run into a situation just like this, you know, and again, you know, when you see paid harassers and shit coming into a case, it gets real. It's nuts. So, but yeah, I appreciate you. Polar Spar. Thanks for the find there. If you watch my video, I figured Marla out, huh? I'll have to check that out. Let me earmark it, okay? Give me a second. Hey, send me a link to that specific thing because I'll forget otherwise. You know, my memory is it feels like, you know, again, if anybody's ever dealt with brain fog, it's just like something's not there. You know, it's like something's missing. It's very frustrating. So, you know, I deal with that a lot some days, and it's very frustrating for me. But, you know, I know a lot of you people deal with things like that too. So it's not a complaint on that. I'm just saying I will forget. I will mean to do something. I will mean to write somebody back or, check something out, and I'll just forget about it because that's how that works. But send me a link and I won't forget about it. All right, let me make sure I got everybody. I think I got everybody. I think I got you all. Yes, I did. All right. So what I'm going to do now, you thought about Angel Quinn thinking about dressing up as Lilith from Supernatural. That's awesome there. I really like Supernatural as a show. It's funny because Supernatural, as marketable as it was, they did not make that much merchandise. They made shirts and stuff, but they never made it. Like they made what is that company, QMX or something like that? They made a 1/6 figure of Dean. I wish I had that, by the way. That thing, I really wish I had one of those, but those things are expensive as heck now because for some reason they put out Dean and they canceled Sam and they canceled Cass. But I, at the time, could not. They were $100, and yeah, in 2018, $100 might have been 10,000. I mean, you just didn't have it to do on there. But man, I wish I would have gotten one. But they were cool, but they've never put out monsters or anything else. They put out a car, which I was going to call Baby. Some people might not know what I'm talking about. They put out the car. They put out some Little People. The Little People toys like you get with little bitty kids. They put out some Supernatural Little People, which was a weird turn. They made all these adult ones. They made some for the boys, which is really weird to me. I like the boys, by the way. It is very disgusting with some of the stuff. It's beyond R. Some of the stuff that comes up in that is really gross. But I like I like the Homelander character. I like seeing a superhero go insane. It's kind of wild. But they made Little People of that, like the little toys that kids play with, which I thought, even as a joke, yuck, that's kind of, I don't know about that. But they did make some Supernatural ones, which I thought were cool. They made a Dean, a Sam, and they made a Cass, which I would like to have, but I've never gotten. They're not expensive. I just never did. I actually wanted the little car that they had. It's from God, what is that company? Give me a second. I'll tell you. Should look it up. They're about $50 now. Yeah, they made Funko Pops too. Yeah, they made some pretty decent Funko Pops, to be honest. I'm kind of surprised. They I was surprised they made some of the demons in there. Like Crowley. I was shocked they made a King of Hale Funko Pop. Funkos, man. Woo, they are. Yeah, that company's dying, by the way. They're almost gone. So the car is by a company, Jada, Jada. They made a 1/24th Chevy Impala, which is, you buy for about $50 in these days. But I like the design, especially like if you look at the toy, I like the trunk, the way it's made. If you're a fan of it, you should look them up. I think those are cool. But anyway, I love Homelander. I do too. So Rhea Riot, I got I know what time it is, by the way. I'm keeping up with it. I'm timing really close to the show. I got a signed comic book by Anthony Starr, Homelander. And he signed it, I am Homelander. I'll do whatever the F I want. He did like a signature series, and those things are cool. So I ended up getting one of those. I got it for a birthday. It was a birthday present. It was one that I'd gotten really on a whim. It was something I was like, man, and again, I didn't buy it. I got it as a birthday present given to me, but it was one of those whim things. I kind of love it. I was like, that's amazing, but if you're ever curious, you should look up the signature series of Anthony Starr's Homelander. Look at some of the things he wrote in there. They're crazy. They're funny. They're pretty good. Love Super. I do too. Like I said, I'm in the 9th season of the show. You know, people dump on the later seasons, but I liked a lot of. You know, there are certain seasons, the really later seasons, that some of them are, but they are what they are. You know, you can enjoy the show just as the first 5 seasons are just amazing, but after the first 5 seasons, there are a lot of good seasons, and I've always liked the show. I go on a viewing quest of it every now and then, but right now, by the way, so it was removed from Netflix. It was there for a long time. It's on Peacock now. I don't know if you can watch Peacock without a membership, but you can go on. I ended up getting Peacock. It has commercials, but I ended up getting Peacock. Now I ended up getting the Blu-rays for Christmas. That was my one big, you know, splurgy thing, which I got them for $70. But you can get Peacock for about $2 and something. Now it has commercials, which suck, but still. All right. So anyway, you got 5 minutes. All right. So get your drinks, get your whatever on, and I'm going to send you over to What the Hales. It should be a really fun stream today, baby. A really good one. So you go enjoy that. It's going to be good. See ya.